Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly director this evening. Because you see, tonight we are having a very special one-shot to celebrate a very special success that one of our stalwart players has enjoyed. Because you see, tonight we are playing a very special one-shot of the October Faction role-playing game, which doesn't exist. It is something that I have cobbled together for this specific session to give a big congratulations to our own George Strayton, who is an executive producer and writer on the hopefully hit Netflix series October Faction.
Co-executive producer, just so I don't get in trouble.
Oh, co-executive producer. There you are. Yes.
He always adds that, I've noticed.
I know. Don't want to hurt anybody.
Jeez. So tonight, joining me for this very special session, we have a bunch of our regular players, a bunch of stars from the channel, who have agreed to jump in and play a little session of October Faction. And yeah, for those who may be fans of the comic book series, I've not read them. I have no idea what's in the comic series. This is based solely on the fiction of the TV series. And as you'll see, it's a bit of a prequel to the TV series. But with me tonight are the stars of our October Faction one-shot, which is called Fear and Loathing in Hungry Harlem. First up, we've got Hobbs.
Hey, everybody. Am I supposed to talk about my character, too?
Yeah, who are you playing tonight?
Today I am playing the wonderful Dr. Harewood. He is a physician, and his interest seems to lie in magic. Well, his methodology to get into the Presidio was
epidemiology, which is the study of infectious diseases.
Yes, there you go. Epidemiology. I was going to look that up today too.
No, he so he was, and he is one of the two characters that is not a dynastic member of Presidio as well. Next up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody. I'm Jeff, and tonight I'm going to be playing Dr. Elliot Pickens, who is not a medical doctor, but a mechanical engineer with a PhD from MIT.
Yes. And likewise, like Dr. Harewood, Dr. Pickens is not a legacy member of the Presidio Initiative. But next up is George. Who are you playing tonight?
I'm playing the director, Noah Allen, who is the uncle of Fred Allen, our
great uncle.
Great uncle, sorry, of our lead in the series. And he is a director of the New York office of the Presidio Initiative. And he's been around a while, and he's seen a lot of crazy shit, but it's about to get real bad tonight.
Yeah. We'll say, too, as viewers at home will note that, as is often the case in most of our games, we did a bit of casting for the characters as well, too. Everyone is cast as much as I could as if this was happening in 1977. And actually, at the time of recording, it's a couple of days after Kirk Douglas, who is playing Director Allen in our game. He actually passed away this week, too. So we are also having this as a bit of a minor tribute to Kirk Douglas as well, too. Next up is Arlen Walker.
Hi, I'm Arlen. I'm playing Agent Harper Harry Hurst, and he's comes from a line of Presidio Initiative members, although it's sort of taken him a while to come around to that. He spent some time in college and then some time in Vietnam, and then eventually turned to field agent work, which is not what they had planned for him. So it's taken a little while, but he's being groomed for command at this point.
Yes. And last but not least is John.
Hey everyone, I am John. I'm playing Agent Genevieve Hurst, which Arlen forgot to mention, is his wife. She is actually descended from a long line of monster hunters, about 500 years of fighting them, and she recently married Harry after a 2-month foray off into the wilderness, and apparently we're being brought back to his homeland because Genevieve is from England.
No, France.
France.
Yeah, Belrose is her maiden name. Yeah, so it's worth just one little tidbit of information about the Presidio Initiative. If you haven't seen the series, I don't think tonight's session will have any spoilers for the series. So if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go and check it out. It's a fuck ton of fun, and it's got some terrific performances in it. So it's definitely worth checking out. In addition, we have a little more information actually about stuff that didn't actually come from the series. And the Presidio Initiative itself, while the organization does date back to like the Middle Ages, it's really only been active in America since the Revolutionary War, or at least as with the colonists as involved in it, starting with the Revolutionary War hero Ethan Allen. And that's where the Allen name comes from. It's not quite clear from the show that that's the reason the Allen name is so storied and has such recognition. There are a number of old white families that seem to be part of the Presidio, and the Hearsts are another one of those organizations. But both of those seem like nouveau riche in the monster hunting business as far as Genevieve's family is concerned. The Belrose date back to the Middle Ages and to the original.
We're old money.
Yes, definitely. Well, it's funny you say money because the Knights Templar were notorious bankers as well too. I wonder how the Presidio Initiative was initially founded or funded.
We'll have to find out.
Shocking. So, then, where our session opens up, guys, the session takes place on Wednesday, July 13th, 1977. And it takes place in New York City. Now, New York... we had talked about this a bit before we went live. George actually grew up in New York, so this is a bit of a homecoming for him as well, too. But let's talk about New York in the 1970s. And this is the session's not going to be all a history lesson, but it is such a different place at this time that it's worth kind of just spending a moment to talk about the differences. For one, New York, while it is at the time one of the biggest cities in the world, it's also broke. Not only is America going through an economic downtime at this point, people are losing jobs. There's the phrase stagflation is going around. Carter is the president, and it doesn't seem like really anyone likes him. The streets of New York, like you see here, are a lot dirtier and a lot more, I guess, worn down. And on top, part of the reason for that is because the city itself is broke. So while the whole country itself is going through some challenging economic times, there's a massive fiscal crisis that's been affecting New York City. In addition, today, July 13, 1977, is the start of a heat wave in New York City. The temperature today, it's not the hottest it will get, but today it reached 93 degrees Fahrenheit, which, Jeff, is 34 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is a scorcher. Every place that you walk into, there's fans going, trying to keep the heat out, but it's also pissing everyone up. Everyone's sticky. Everyone's hot. The city stinks. And crime in New York City in the 1970s is largely the inspiration for how Marvel Comics presented New York for people reading the comics elsewhere. The subway is a place you are definitely taking things in your hands. Rapes go completely uninvestigated. Murders are catastrophic. Neighborhoods are being decimated by urban flight. And then also literally collapsing. So the city itself at this point is almost emblematic of the urban decay that's happening in the 70s everywhere. Never let it be said that they don't do things big in New York City. And this is where we first find our heroes. The first two heroes are Harry and Jenny. Now, Genevieve Hearst, the only person who calls her Jenny and gets away with it is Agent Harper. Oh, and let me bring your tokens over, guys, so we can keep the...
Genevieve for all you others.
Yeah. So it's a Wednesday night, but of course, Jenny and Harry, they certainly don't work the normal kind of day jobs. They're out for a night on the town. It's about 8 o'clock. very early for New York, but New York is not the kind of, while it may be, well, I guess Vegas is the city that never sleeps. This is the city that dramatically transforms in the evening. Muggings are at an all-time high, the muggings are often accompanied by a great deal of violence. Of course, Harry and Jenny can more than carry themselves or handle themselves. The pictures you see in the screen here, guys, these are all from about Midtown. So this is sort of near where the Presidio headquarters is as well. Where do we find Harry and Jenny? We know they're out in the town, and what do we think they've been doing for their evening off?
Probably the age-old, where should we eat? What are you hungry for?
Yep. So it's given it that it's the 70s, maybe you've stopped by a new fondue place that's opened up?
That's great.
How about an ice cream shop?
Well, the fondue is more 70s and more dinner. So they are adults, not children. So dessert first!
It is hot.
So sitting around, and you each have a drink in front of you, and one thing that we then see is, well, I guess there's two things that happen. You're all been sitting around, you've been engrossed in, in what's been going on. What's happened the last little while? Well, Jenny has been still doing what she's always done, which is that she's an amazing monster-killing agent. Jenny's been active in Presidio since she was in her early teens. That's when she killed her first inhuman kind of thing. Harry, however, has been... The reason they're back in New York and not in Paris right now is because Harry's being groomed to take over his father's seat. His father passed away recently. His father was friends with director Arlen. And what that involves is getting to know more of what's going on in Presidio. What does Presidio actually do behind the scenes, apart from sending highly trained operatives out to go and kill people? And Harry, there's something... Harry seems a little quiet at dinner tonight, Jenny. And maybe Jenny's actually a little quiet as well, too. You guys... and I should say as well, too, I'm going to be posting all of these... all the character sheets for this, including the backstories on the community tab in the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. So if you want to see who these characters are, you want to learn their backstories, you'll be able to access it there after the stream. I will also post the dark secrets there as well, but proceed with caution. There will be spoilers ahead. So what... well, that's one thing I should mention. Well, we'll mention it when it first comes up. So both Harry and Jenny, there's been stuff that's been weighing on your mind. So while the places itself is the fondue restaurant is full of young and happy couples, there's probably a mix of like the Midtown crowd that want to, coming from their office jobs. And as well as the hippies, coming in. I guess in the 70s it's gonna be the late life hippies, but the kind of carries over from the Summer of Love, and both of you are... Harry and Jenny got married after 2 months of knowing each other, and they have that kind of unique connection that every couple sort of hopes to be. But this situation that you guys have been in has been difficult. Harry, you've found some things that you're trying to process about Presidio, and Jenny, Harry's been more reserved than what you've been. And in addition to, in fairness, you've also been preoccupied as well for the last little while. So you're... when the waitress comes by and asks you both, sorry, is there something wrong with the meal? Or because you haven't touched your fondue pot. It's been boiling away there with the little skewers and stuff next to it. You haven't even touched it. In fact, you haven't even touched your drinks either.
Jenny will say, nothing's wrong with the food. It's just a fish out of water kind of thing.
And we can tell as well that Jenny has a very thick Parisian French accent.
Which I will not attempt.
Yeah, no. That's totally fine.
I understand.
So, and I think the waitress has already gone through that, oh, where are you from, honey? Thing from when you first sat down. Harry, you have anything to add? Or you...
I think we see kind of almost the mask go back up for a second, that he sort of looks up and flashes a bit of a smile, like it's all just fine, before sort of back to the gloominess. And
Harry has what could be best described as like a megawatt smile. It's, when it's directed in your attention, to steal a line from the talented Mr. Ripley, you feel like the sun's shining on you. And
there's a reason Robert Redford played The Great Gatsby.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she says, okay, well, you take your time. And she's just finishing that sentence when suddenly, the entire restaurant goes dark, except for the small little burning candles underneath, or the wicks, I should say, the stair nose, underneath each of the fondue pots. Harry and Jenny, you both kind of look at each other, and you both look down at your waists, and there's these incredibly high-tech looking little devices hanging there. A way of sending a message through the air to a piece of technology. You look down and you see your pagers both begin streaming across Presidio.
Well, shit.
What do you guys do? Does this have any effect on the mood?
Probably not good for the mood, but Harry's not one to stiff a waitress her tip, so he's going to pull out his wallet and put some cash on the table before, fully aware that, in the darkness, who knows what's going to happen to it. But
and the restaurant is in a bit of chaos.
Yep.
Fortunately, you guys are used to navigating, through crowds and riots and shit like that. So how do you, I guess we just sort of see you make your way through the kind of jostling crowd out into the streets. And when you make your way into the streets, what you realize is that this is not just the restaurant that lost power. It's the entire city. You look left through these massive, now blackened buildings on one side, shrouding out the sky, and a same on the other side. It almost looks like you are in a massive open-topped hallway. And every one of the buildings, at the base of each of them, people are coming out, or windows are being opened, and people are shouting out of them, "What's going on? What happened?" Blah, 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 blah. The only lights that are on outside here are the street lights, or rather the headlights of the cars that are honking and going by, honking at the people who are beginning to spill into the streets, trying to figure out what's going on. You guys look left, you look right. It looks like the entire city, as far as you can see, has no lights whatsoever. You check your watch. It is 8:38.
How far are we from Presidio?
So you are in Midtown. It's probably a couple of blocks. You might try and flag down a cab, but you might also get hit by a cab because you're basically stepping out into the darkness here. What do you guys do?
With the confusion that's about to happen, people spilling into the street, it's better just to hoof it. We should move.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So we see you guys.
Is Jenny wearing high heels?
Well, you do have your car here too, because Harry drives a 70. What's one of your assets?
77 Mustang is one of my assets.
Yeah.
Let's go to our emergency gear and book it.
So you hop in this thing. What is the not? I don't mean describing what the car looks like. What's the paint job on your 77 Mustang?
Well, the one on the show is orange, right? So
Yep.
probably ought to be something like that.
Yep. Okay. So you hop in. Vroom. It roars to life like an angry animal, and you squeal out into the darkened streets, flashing the lights on. As you're going along, I'm picturing that Jenny is grabbing your weapons, your guns from the glove box, kind of making sure you're loaded. You've got a shotgun in the trunk as well. And what do we see? Oh, go ahead, John.
Side seat driving as well.
Nice. Yeah. Now, when you pull up to the, I think that this is going to be a big, glass front. It's actually a relatively, modern for 70s looking building. But what we see standing on the street amongst the other kind of milling around office workers and office cleaning staff and whatnot, we see three individuals. well, I'm going to pass it over to George. George, what do we see as we pull up?
I think there's people kind of streaming out of the building, but standing, only people who are kind of standing still as people and not looking confused. Our director, Noah, Allen, and his two doctor companions. He spots, his eye is always moving and he sees the hearse pulling up.
Mm.
He says something to Dr. Harewood and Pickens that we don't overhear as the hearse are kind of moving up. I feel like the hearse are kind of like our POV, sort of.
Yeah, great, love it.
Yeah, and so we're not quite sure of this discussion. They have a quick discussion, and they kind of like stop talking once the hearse sort of get close enough to overhear.
Sure. So for Dr. Pickens, Dr. Harewood, you were elsewhere in the building working when all this shit happened. And Director Noah, Allen, he told you you're coming along on this. So you got your gear, you got your medical bag, and you're, dressed because you were going to be meeting your wife for dinner. So you are dressed very much as you are in the picture. Dr. Pickens, however, looks like he hasn't slept in a day. He's got 5 o'clock shadow. He's, his hair is kind of messed up. He's got that like oily sheen of someone who hasn't showered in a day. And to be honest, Dr. Harewood, you think he's been drinking too. So as the hearse pull up, and you're able to pull right up in front of the building with no difficulty. You kind of honk to get a couple of people out of the way who are standing in the middle of the street. What happens next, guys?
I think Director Allen waves the hearse over. I'm wondering, is there a Presidio, like just kind of plain nondescript black van that he might have access to?
Totally. Yep.
Okay,
so
cool.
Let's talk about what your asset is too. One of your assets is what?
Wealth of Presidio.
Bingo. Yep. So that is sitting up front.
So yeah, it's sitting right out front, and I'm gonna imagine the hearse have like pulled up right next to it because they recognize it for what it is.
Yeah.
No one else, everybody else will just walk right by it.
Yeah.
Dr. Allen's making sure no one's going to overhearing him. Thankfully, there's so much chaos going on. He's not too concerned because people are trying to figure out this blackout.
The streets themselves are full of honking cars, and like this is trying to get out of Yankee Stadium, level of noise, but the entire city for the most part, or at least
so
all the. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so as they gather around, kind of like in a little kind of circle, Director Allen says, we got a situation up in Harlem. We got to do this field op. I don't know how long this blackout's going to last. It's going to make it pretty dicey, but we got no choice because some bad things are about to go down. Are we pronouncing it ghoul or ghoul?
Ghoul.
Okay, good. So we got an outbreak of East Saharan ghouls. Some of you are familiar with this, Dr. Harewood in particular.
Let's get some rolls here, guys. Let's have a refresher here. If you have the skill Threat Intel, roll 2d6, add your Threat Intel, and add, I think it's Education to it. If you do not have that, you're rolling with a Bane. So give me a 3d6, keep the 2 lowest, and then add your Education bonus. Jenny, you're well aware of the ghouls. Same thing with Harry.
Sorry, what was the skill, Kev?
So the skill is Threat Intel.
Oh, Threat Intel. Okay, no, I don't have that.
Yeah, so then you roll 3d6, add your, what do you call it, your Education bonus, but take the 2 lowest of the dice.
So what I should do is, if this is a scene, so I should have just considered my utter professionalism and actually used it as an asset roll.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you want to go back and re-roll that?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so that would be 3d6, drop the lowest.
That's correct, yep.
Yeah,
can you actually tell it to do that?
There's a way to, but I don't know how.
No, we can just do it by, okay, so it looks like, so Dr. Harewood, wow, much better result, yeah. So Dr. Heron looks like he got the biggest result, which actually makes sense for the fiction. So you're well aware of this shit. The East, and this is maybe something I can't remember if I sent you beforehand. Oh, actually, no, I know I sent it to George. George, I'll let you tell them about the East Saharan ghoul.
Okay, so put it, bluntly, they eat humans, and they've got some other unusual qualities. They hibernate for decades, because they evolved in the desert. They had to wait for prey. It could take who knows how long for any to come their way, but they've never evolved out of that. They spread their infection to create others of their kind through their claws. So you're going to need to be careful about that. And the most interesting thing about them, the most dangerous thing, is that they have a kind of hive mind. But what is really problematic is the fact that on their own, they're sort of just mindless animals. But every so often, there is a ghoul king that arises. And when he does, he can take control of the entire hive mind, and suddenly we have a force to be reckoned with, and no neighborhood or potentially entire city will be safe. And we've discovered the presence of ghouls and potentially a king up in Harlem. And thankfully we have Dr. Harewood here, who knows these creatures perhaps better than anyone, and he can confirm whether we have actually found a king and whether we have been able to destroy it.
So, two things that Harewood, about that with that great role. It's actually one of the things that you're an epidemiologist. You study the spread of infections. This is specifically one of the things: vampirism, lycanthropy, ghouls. Ghoul plague. These are the kind of things that you've been studying for the last however many years that you've been with Presidio. What you know as well too is that there's two things you can tell about. You can find on ghouls. On all ghouls, you can always find the vector point where where that thing has been transmitted to the ghoul. If you're curious as to what one looks like, I think Harewood comes forward and shows a picture. That's what ghouls look like.
Cool.
That is after the infection runs its full course. And go ahead.
Did the director already tell me what we were doing? Otherwise, what am I carrying, like a big portfolio around or something? It's not like I can just pull out like a tablet, right?
Yeah, he would have told you that it was ghouls. So that you grabbed like your
briefcase. I have a briefcase or in my medicine bag or something.
Yeah. There's probably a pocket at the front or something that you could stuck it into. Okay. So you show that to everyone. So the first thing you can see, though, as much as the virus transforms them into this inhuman thing, you can always see the place where the virus was transmitted. That doesn't heal. So you look in the body, you can find that. There are specific manifestations that come from when it manifests as a king. So you're going to find that bite point mark on every ghoul. You're also going to find something around that. There's a specific manifestation, that a pattern, if you will, around that bite mark that indicates it's the ghoul king. You're going to want to, of course, do that after you kill things. What you also anticipate is that once a ghoul king goes down, that you're going to know it for sure. This is the droid hive mind goes down and suddenly all the droids go crazy. It is a traumatic event that goes through all of the things. So really, you're there, Harewood, to confirm that happened, because Ghoul Kings can be pretty fucking clever and can fake it to preserve themselves, then go hiding for decades, and then reemerge when they need to, allowing their mindless minions to keep spreading and have a much bigger network to wake up to. A massive city full of dilapidated buildings plunged into darkness. This is a very bad time to have a Ghoul King in New York City.
Elliot walks up to the director and he says, "Sir, I don't mean to be rude. It's obvious why they're here." And he points at the hearse. "And I see why you wanted Dr. Harewood, but why bring me along?"
There's a bag in the open van that you can point to, Director Allen.
Yeah. So I say I need your mechanical expertise. It's the only way we're going to get out of this alive and accomplish our mission. We can talk about it on the way uptown.
For sure. You can tell he's nervous about field work.
Is he reaching for something in his lapel too?
I think that he would do that when he would get a chance to not do it in front of everyone.
Okay, let's do this.
And I think that Dr. Allen he knows Elliot pretty well. He puts a hand on his shoulder and say, "We're gonna get through this. Don't worry."
Yeah.
Quietly.
Dr. Pickens has been with Presidio for a little over a decade, so you definitely know him. Harry and Jenny, you definitely don't need to make rolls. Pickens he smells like a drunk. Like, this is someone who you would bump into you and start rambling at you on your way to the washroom in a bar. Hurst and none of the Hursts know either Harewood or Pickens, but of course you guys are familiar with Director Allen.
And I quickly make introductions and everything that everybody said at the start of the session, so everybody knows now what each person, the Hursts are agents, Dr. Harewood is an actual epidemiologist doctor, and Dr. Pickens is a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
Genevieve's gonna spare a glance over at Pickens and then back at the director and raise one of her eyebrows and is like, "Are you sure?" Kind of indicating "Are you sure about this?"
You're all been deemed able-bodied by the Presidio Initiative. I know we can handle this. Unfortunately, many of our number are out dealing with a problem that's above your clearance level. So this is all we've got. So I was glad you were nearby.
Dr. Harewood, would you kindly give me a... so this is one of the things we can do, too, is we can actually use different stats for different... for different skills. Harewood, would you kindly... I want you to make a medicine wits roll for me, please. Target number is 8. Oh, you're muted, Hobbs.
Talking to myself. And what our skill is the number of dice we roll?
No. It's just what you add to the roll. It's 2d6, and then if you've got something... I think you've used one of your assets this scene, so you can't use another one. But it's 2d6 plus your medicine score plus your wits attribute modifier. Nice. So you can see that there's the initial kind of foundation of this. Looking over Dr. Pickens, his hands are trembling ever so slightly. There's it's not trembling like there's a tremor to them. You can see the beginning of gin blossoms that are kind of forming around his nose. This isn't a guy who was pulled out of a party, or pulled out of a pub to do this. This is a guy who is functioning all the time like this. This is not, this isn't the first person that you've met, but even at a casual observation, you can see this guy's definitely got a drinking problem.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about it as much as we might have now in the 1977.
Totally.
Sure.
Well, there's still, what is it, Friends of whatever. That dates back to the 20s, right? AA?
Yeah.
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 But yeah, this is...
But yeah, people would have, drinks at lunch during work. That was totally legit.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, especially in high-pressure jobs like you guys have.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Anyway, what happens next then, guys?
Well,
I think we should... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Elliot grabs the bag that you indicate, gets into the van, grabs the bag, goes to the back of the van, and then that's when he sort of sneaks a drink of his...
Love it.
Nice.
Awesome.
And I think Dr. Allen walks up to Harry, and he says, "I'm making you lead on this mission. Well, I'm getting too old for this field work shit, so you're going to be point with your wife. I'm counting on you, and I think you should take your car just in case things get hairy, and we need to get out of there quickly. We might need the van to potentially bring in a ghoul. We don't know. So we're going to need 2 vehicles."
Okay.
Sounds appropriate to me.
Who's driving the van then? I'm guessing not Pickens.
Not Dr. Pickens.
I would say I better.
I think Dr. Allen probably makes... Heron, want to do it? You want to drive?
Yep.
Great. Perfect.
Okay. Dr. Harewood gets behind the wheel and you guys start heading out. That's actually really interesting. All right, so...
And no Allen will be in shotgun.
Okay.
It's kind of awkward because Elliot thought maybe that the Hearsts were getting in the vehicle with them, and so he's like in the back row, and so there's like a bench in between or whatever between where Noah and
look at that big smile.
Oh yeah, he's happy.
Somebody loves Daddy.
Slows going to bed like me.
Yeah. So you guys pile into the van. You guys get into the into your Mustang, and you guys start heading northward, or I guess northeast, towards Harlem. So let's talk quickly about Harlem in the 1970s. So we talked about this a bit before we went live, but Harlem was actually, so at the time that the blackout happened in 1977, Harlem had the lowest population density of any neighborhood in New York. What you're seeing here are photos taken from the year of our adventure. Harlem, unsurprisingly, for like a lot of neighborhoods with a predominantly minority population, it suffered a great deal, as did the rest of the city. But burned out, abandoned buildings, shops that have been abandoned, blocks even where you go without seeing people. This is where you're going with no light on whatsoever. So, and from the sounds of things as well too, the police don't not go to Harlem. The police still, they patrol the neighborhood as well, but by virtue of who the population is in Harlem, it's unlikely that they're going to be a priority for the the NYPD tonight, which means you guys may be the only ones going in there. So the only, quasi-government officials, I guess, heading in there. So, you pass through, as we saw. Oh, I did bring you over. We saw in that other picture the people standing in the streets. That's what you're passing the whole way driving towards Harlem. There's, constantly cars on the wrong side of the road and cars that have gotten in accidents. And there's even one or two buildings that you see that have started on fire. One other thing you're seeing is that it really took very little time. It's probably about maybe 45 minutes to an hour since you left the fondue restaurant, and looting is already happening everywhere. Every single neighborhood you're passing as you're driving up towards Harlem, storefronts are smashed in. And the thing is, let's see here, who would have been here long enough? Pickens and Allen, you were here for the blackout in the 60s. The blackout in the 60s happened during the day when shop owners were still there and they could still, try and defend their stores. This happened at around 8:30. Everyone's gone home. There's no one there to stop it, so it's basically a free-for-all. Windows are smashed open. Entire things are being carried out by people. You'd think that some Vancouver team would have won some kind of cup for the way that people are looting the stores here.
I think Alan, in seeing this everywhere, just street after street after street of this, he just shakes his head and says, "Monsters."
Yeah. What so Presidio obviously has a great deal of assets at hand, particularly in New York. New York is I believe it's the headquarters for the North American kind of unit. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. So what's happened is that if Harper or if Harry or Jenny thinks to ask, all the rest of the forces have been deployed everywhere. New York, not surprisingly, with how much the city has decayed by this point, it has tons of places where hideous things can hide. Dark cults, evil warlocks, demons, vampires, all over the fucking city. No doubt Allen has just deployed forces everywhere to try and deal with this stuff. So this is but one fire that needs to be put out. And the fact that Director Allen is personally leading this, that's unusual. You've never seen him go outside. I mean, the city hasn't been plunged into darkness like this in a decade. So maybe that is a bit of an unusual thing. But yeah, it's you haven't seen him do this before. So this is, imagine this in the darkness with a couple of, some of the empty lots that you pass where buildings once stood. There's oil drums with things burning in them. That's what you see as you make your way into Harlem. But what you don't see are people. every other neighborhood you've passed through as you're going up. And you can hear from other neighborhoods the sound of the sirens, both the fire department, the NYPD, the honking of horns, the screams of people, the shouts. That's coming from everywhere else. But as soon as you roll into Harlem, it's very much like what you see in that top left photo there, but in perfect blackness. You can picture that as you're going along. Is the Mustang in front, or is the van in front?
I think the van is in front because I am the one who knows where we're going.
Yeah. So you guys are driving along. The only thing you can see, this is in the middle of one of the busiest, biggest cities in the world. You would think you were driving down a backcountry lane. There's no lights beyond that narrow cone in front of the vehicle. How are you guys driving? You've been carefully weaving your way through as fast as is reasonable, given there's people all over the place. But now that you've hit this area, what's Dr. Harewood? You're behind the wheel. What are you doing? Oh, you're muted, Hobbs.
So I picture the scene of, like, you can see Clifton's face as the headlights pass by him, occasionally smoking a cigarette on his way, because it feels like there should always be cigarettes in the 70s.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's quiet, and so now he has both hands on the wheel, occasionally checking his shoulder holster because he's not used to even carrying a gun, out here. And, as soon as he notices there aren't anyone around, he'll ask Alan, where we're going. And so now we're like barely just kind of creeping along through Harlem. You can even hear the gravel, as the tires slowly crunch over it and hit these potholes.
And I think we see your lit cigarette has burned down to just ashes, and there's a bunch of yeah. Falls off the edge as you're looking around. Director Allen, what are you doing?
Cool. So I'm trying to make out the street signs, because I'm trying to find a specific location, and it's dark. And our headlights are barely illuminating anything that's not in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
So
you can assume if you want to have this is it's not going to matter whether you guys have a flashlight or not in this stuff. So if you picture that you've got a flashlight with you, that's fine.
Right. Perfect. So I'm kind of aiming the flashlight out, and I feel like maybe I think I see something in the window that just moves out of the way quickly as soon as the light hits it, and I'm like, and then I'm finding the streets. I'm like, oh, I've still got another 10 blocks to go.
So as you're looking to the side, what you're seeing as well, there's no looters here, but there are storefronts. There's still life. There's still people who have, generations of people who have been living in Harlem. Easily back, for the community that lives here now, easily way back till the turn of the century. Freshly smashed in storefronts, seeming in the place of these joyous, almost bold and happy looters in other neighborhoods. These stand like crime scenes. Giant gaping black holes inside. You can't see anyone going in or out, but it's clear of what's happened here. And as you're going along, I think you see maybe about 5 blocks ahead, you hear wow 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 wow, and this NYPD vehicle goes wow, driving at probably 80 miles an hour through the darkness, wow 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 wow, and it's left, leaving you with the even quieter impression as the silence of Harlem swallows you again.
That silence is broken by Elliot's nervous question.
Yeah.
To the director.
So he walks up to the front to look.
The Hearsts are some of our best agents, right?
That they are.
Oh, thank God. And he goes back to the back seat.
Okay, Harry and Jenny, what's going on in your vehicle? You can see that you made good time getting up to basically the outskirts of Harlem, but now that you're here, whoever's driving has slowed down to a crawl.
Well, Jenny's taking this extremely seriously. She's moving back to her teenage years where, life and death was just around the corner. So she's checking the weapons, making sure they're not going to jam, and then scanning the darkness for any hint of like refracted light from anything's eyes.
Sure.
She's just intense.
So your starlight scope that you have on your M40 sniper rifle, that is something that it basically augments ambient light.
It's kind of hard to swing a sniper rifle in a car.
For sure, yeah.
But she is making sure it's ready to be pieced together.
Okay. And Harry?
Well, I assume Harry is driving if Jenny is checking the weapons, because that seems like the safest solution.
Your car.
Jenny, would you kindly give me a spot check, please?
Spot check. That is 2 in width. Okay.
Nice. You see out of the corner of your eye, something goes running from one side of this.
Sorry, that's actually a 12. I hit the wrong modifier in there.
Oh, okay, great.
Should be a 12. Yeah.
Should be a 12. Great. Yeah. So yeah, that's a 8 is your typical target number. So that's an effect of 4. You can see something goes running from one vacant building across to another, and I think you get enough to see that it's sort of something running in a hunched over way, but you can see that there's clothing on it as well too. It runs into the. You can picture like the building at the bottom right.
Okay.
That's kind of what it's run into. Something that this is not looting. This is something that has been dilapidated for a number of years. But of course, it's pitch black within there.
She'll say movement to that direction. Possible contact.
Okay. So this happens a couple of times when finally, Director Allen, you get to a point where you can see that it's very close. Where you're going is actually closer to Sugar Hill, so it's closer to more the nice part of Harlem, not in Sugar Hill, but getting closer there. And you pull up, and the scene is very much like what you see in the middle left photograph. It's burned out buildings, actually the top right as well. Windowless buildings, or at least giant windows that have no glass in them any longer, gaping holes, a large empty lot full of abandoned cars, burned out things, some turned over, Lord knows how that happened, and uncollected detritus all over the place. It looks like it looks very much like what you see in that middle photo. This is the place. In the bottom of that one burned out building.
And is this where Dr. Allen thinks that his intel has pinpointed where they might find ghoul activity? Okay, so he's gonna say to Harwood, "Stop here."
That thing in the bag, that's going to be used in the basement.
Elliot, we're gonna need you to bring that with us.
Okay.
And he's gonna I'm gonna step out of the car.
Yep.
And I'm drawing my 1977 .38 caliber.
Okay. He's got a revolver. Yep.
And he kind of waves the hearse to pull up next to the van.
Okay. So you can see him standing, a lone figure, washed out in the headlight, in the lights of your headlights. You pull the vehicle over, and when the Mustang's engine stops, that's when the deathly silence falls over everywhere. All the sound of the rest of the city, the rest of the neighborhoods reacting to the chaos, that it's been plunged into by the darkness. It might as well be on another planet. It's barely echoes of what you hear as you step out. Like Hobbs said, you can feel the crunch of grit underneath your every footsteps as you make your way out here.
Genevieve makes a smart crack and says, "You bring me to the loveliest places, Harry."
There is a low roll of thunder. In spite of there being no, no rain. This is one of the lightning. You think you heard thunder throughout the day as well, too. But it seems most ominous now. So what happens next, guys?
How heavy is this bag that I'm carrying?
Bag's actually probably close to 70 pounds. It's not a...
Oh.
Yeah.
He is. You can see that Elliot is struggling with it and looks annoyed that he is basically here to carry heavy gear.
Yeah.
And probably die a ghoulish death in his own mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Harewood whips out a kerchief, whoosh, wipes at the sweat that's beading and dripping from all over him because it seems like it's hot here. Whips it out, wipes his face again, and grabs his bag.
Okay.
I'll walk up to Harry and say, look, I know you're kind of a hellraiser, which is exactly what we need tonight.
Good, then I'll bring the shotgun.
Okay.
I'm bringing them.
Pop the
Sounds like a
trunk.
good plan.
So the trunk pops open, and we see Harry retrieves a shotgun, and
I don't know
Jenny...
if you have to actually do the pump action to load a shell or not, but that definitely seems like it would fit.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think you want to keep the one extra, right? Like the one in the chamber thing.
Is that... I don't know.
It's so the way that they describe. I was reading about these. Like these are actual. Everything that you've got is something that would be available in the market or used by police forces in the 1977. So
Yeah.
the shotgun, it listed them always as like whatever the thing is plus one, which makes me think that there's one you can kind of keep in the chamber as well.
Makes sense.
I don't know fuck all about shotguns, so this is all assumption, but I'm sure some kind YouTube viewer will correct me on it. No doubt in a non-condescending way as well.
Yeah.
Elliot was standing by the van. He sees Harry pull out the shotgun and Genevieve pull out the sniper rifle, and he quickly moves over and stands behind them.
Okay. She's moving over this big heavy bag that he's struggling with.
Yeah, he's like drags the bag over by them.
Nice. All right.
Genevieve looks over at Pickens and raises an eyebrow and says, "You might want to keep 3 feet back. This thing's got a hell of a kick."
She has a gun that is probably about close to 1.5 times the size of Harry's.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But it's good for long range. His is best for short.
Okay. So.
And Director Alan's going to kind of sidle up to Clifton and say, I'm counting on your expertise here. We don't get the king, we're fucked.
Language, Mr. Allen. Language.
You can count on me, Director Allen. Seeing everyone else's have weapons out, he hastily unpulls his pistol out,
Yeah.
clutching his bag to his chest.
Nice. That's so good. All right. So then, guys, what do we see next? We know that Director Allen has a flashlight with him. Does anyone else have a flashlight as well? You all can have them if you want them.
Can we have... Is it like, can we have like an attachment on the guns for flashlights, or do they need to be held in hand?
1977? I don't think so.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
then Harry's he kind of flips his shotgun around onto his back and pulls out the pistol so he can have flashlight in one hand and pistol in the other.
Absolutely. Love
Jenny
it.
will have her flashlight at her hip, but she's going to be using the starlight scope to look around with.
Okay. So if she does that, I mean, there is the possibility that she'd trip, right? Because look at what the lot is full of. I can think of a way of getting around that. Also, her agility is a 12, right?
Her agility is
Yeah, so it
amazing.
gets as high basically as you can get. So I think then you'll be carefully, in high heels as well too. Carefully.
Well, she breaks off the heels bit, so she doesn't.
She can manage the heels. She could run in these things and fight.
Well, okay. It's like running from a T-Rex, eh?
Exactly. All right. So then, who is taking the lead?
I mean, it seemed to me that Harry and Jenny would be in the lead with their weapons out and shining their lamps, and then Clifton and I would kind of be in the center rank, and I'm guessing Elliot would prefer to be in the back.
Okay.
Unless anybody would like to be in a different rank.
Well,
Maybe Elliot starts walking behind Jenny, and Director Allen kind of grabs him like, hold on there, partner.
Yeah. You don't want to be too close.
Dr. Pickens, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, he just, again, he looks very out of place here in the field.
Okay.
yeah, Jenny looks back and says, This thing is loud, so if I shoot it, they're going to know we're here.
So then don't shoot until you see something we absolutely have to shoot.
Okay. What I'd like you guys to do, please, as you're making your... excuse me. Oh, thank God I'm not doing goblin voices tonight. As you're making your way across the empty what do you call it? The empty lot. Now, maneuvering your way around the skeletal remains of these cars. You carefully, as you're going by, bring the light down. Harry, you got a little bit of space between the two of you. You're checking the close-up areas. Jenny, you're looking up, and there's once or twice where you think you can see something, duck away from one of the empty windows, but maybe that's your eyes playing tricks on you. What I would like you to do is for everyone to give me a spot check, please. Spot wits check. If you don't have spot, just roll with a bane. And Jenny, I'll give you a boon on this roll.
Okay.
Because of the starlight scope.
That's real nice.
Nice.
Wait, so if you have a number besides spot, then you add that to the roll?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that includes a bonus from the wits?
That does not. No, you got to add, because you can use different stats sometimes. So I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. So Jenny got a wow. It's a pretty. So it's 14 total.
We're all on our game.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and thanks for putting in what it should be, guys. That's really helpful. So you're looking around, Jenny. I think you got the biggest effect here. So Jenny, you're moving, and then what is your signal that you make to Harry for him to stop moving? Is it arrête? French word for stop.
No. She'll probably change her stance immediately because she's got both hands on the gun.
Yep.
And she'll just stiffen her back and twist just to the side like she's getting ready to fire, and that'll be her signal.
But what if he's not looking at you though?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking out as well.
I think just like a cough would be plenty.
I mean, you and here's one thing that we'll say: Harry and Jenny are both fluent in French, of course. Okay. You're not sure whether anyone else is.
Okay.
So if you guys do want to have a conversation with each other en français, it may be kept from everyone else.
Okay. Well, she'll make more like a sound, like a quick little hiss that doesn't carry too far.
Okay.
Just enough to reach within 5 feet.
Yeah. What is the French national anthem again? What's it
Marseillaise?
Called? Marseillaise, yeah. Maybe you whistle the first bar of that or something. And that you start, because I mean, it's if in the film version of this, we need to telegraph that you're French, right?
Yeah. That's right.
So, Harry, you hear that. Jenny, what you've seen is there are two figures kind of skulking around some of the derelict cars, maybe about 30 yards away from you. They're approaching you guys.
She'll give two quick whistles and then incline her head in the direction when he's looking at her.
Okay. Harry, you were distracted by something there. What do you think has happened here?
I think I was kind of flashing the light over the ground and trying to make sure, because I'm picturing we're not like exactly single file, but we're kind of filling out into that sort of snake pattern, and so I'm in the lead trying to find the best way to step and not knock over everything and stay quiet. And
so we got Dr. Pickens, Dr. Harewood, and oh no, actually, you guys did not succeed, but Dr. Harewood. So Director Allen and Dr. Pickens, you're kind of looking all over the place. Dr. Harewood, you also can see, not from the right as Jenny has seen, but on the left, closer to where you've left the van. There's two figures that are making their way, kind of hunched over and making their way towards you. Do you have a flashlight as well?
I have one available, but I really am holding my bag in one hand and my gun in the other. So
you can't tell. Yeah, I don't think you can make out anything about these two figures, but you definitely see them coming, and you can tell from the way they're moving, they don't want to be seen.
you can like my laser sight slips over them or something.
Sure, yeah. So you see it move over them. Unfortunately, you can see no detail, but you can see where they are. And I think you might even hear a bit of like...
and they're already headed towards us, or they're headed towards our van?
They're likewise probably about 30 yards away at this point.
So, and I think the reason I rolled so low is that nobody else notices this, but the camera catches Noah constantly glancing back at the bag that Dr. Pickens is dragging along.
Love it. And Pickens, what are you doing as you guys are approaching this scary place?
Is he? Well, I'm wondering, like, does he notice that the director seems to be preoccupied with the bag?
I don't think so. No. Well, hold on. Why don't you give us a?
Because I think that the director is probably who I'm focused on, because I am thinking about having a drink from my flask, and he's the person I don't want to see me do it.
So Spot is sort of the, like, something's happening. Can I see where it is? Investigate is when you're actually like focusing attention and trying to get information. So I think it's probably more of an investigate. Why don't you give me an investigate roll? And if you've got remember, you can once per scene, you can use if you got an asset that will apply, you can get a boon on the roll.
Okay. I mean, kind of. I mean, I have manic determination, which he is determined to have some of this friggin' booze.
Okay. So it's the like mid Nicholson, kind of crazy state.
Yeah. So what do you do for the bonus?
So it's a boon. You're rolling 3d6 to keep in the two highest, and then otherwise it acts as if you were making a normal roll. Okay, so it's 8. Do you have any I
have investigate and wit, so that's +3 total.
+3 total.
It is an 11.
It's an 11.
The total is actually correct.
Okay, then here, Director Allen, would you kindly give us a deceive roll, please?
Okay.
And that'll be deceive and presence, I think.
Okay.
Likewise, if you got an asset you want to play in this scene, please feel free.
Well, I actually have a signature skill. And I don't want to be noticed checking that thing out.
So the thing is, signature skill only gives you an effect of 1, and the way we determine...
Oh, I see. It's going to be whoever's the higher effect in this case.
Exactly. So and it's an 8+, so right now, what'd you say you rolled? An 11, Jeff?
Yeah.
11 total.
11 total, so that means you got an effect of 3.
Right. All right, so I'm going to need to try to beat that. So and I there's a chance for me doing that. So let's see what happens here. So that is a 10.
Okay, that's an effect of 2. So Pickens, he is definitely keeping an eye on that bag.
Which I find, instead of like seeing that as something ominous or whatever, I see it as just a super annoyance. Like he's my boss, and I want to try and sneak a drink, and he is ultra focused on this stupid bag that I'm dragging. So, like, it's like, why does he care what I'm doing? I'm the stupid guy carrying the bag. Like, pay attention to these agents and the danger and the,
All right. So then, we are about to have a combat scene here, guys. So these things are coming in. There's at least 4 of them. What happens? So we can kind of set up to the point where we're going to roll initiative. Harry and Jenny have seen. I guess Harry has been notified by Jenny for what to look for, but I don't think that. Well, hold on. What was Jenny's effect on her roll?
It was a 14 was I got in my spot.
Oh, 14, so it's an effect of 6. So add your effect to Harry's roll. Yeah, so Harry, you look over and it's pointed out at you.
12. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see, yeah, there's 2 coming in from over there. And Dr. Harewood, you've seen the 2 coming in. Do you guys do anything before to notify everyone else before we roll initiative? Or
I figured like you would see the camera go back from Allen to Pickens, where they're looking this, and he's like tapping his flask but not taking a drink, and then you hear Clifton is like, there's two coming up on us from our left.
Okay.
He's right next to Noah. So
the reason I was curious of that, guys, is because I believe Noah has the best tactics skill.
Let's see here. I have. I don't see tactics actually.
Yeah, it should be third, 1, 2, 3, fourth line down.
I see
skills.
threat and tell.
Threat and tell, and then to the left of that, you maybe are you printing an?
Am I looking at an old? Maybe I have an older.
Yeah.
Copy. Hold on.
Yeah, it's,
I'll open up the one in the.
Yeah, on Discord. That's the most recent one. That's the accurate one, or should be.
The one in the head.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, I have a 3
Okay.
plus 1. I have a 4, or plus 4 total.
Okay, so why don't you give us a tactics check, please? And if I don't say, guys, if I don't tell you what stat it is, assume it's the same. It's the one written on the sheet. It'll only be if there's a change from it that I'll let you know. Great. Okay, so that's an 8. So against a target number 8, that means your effect is a 2. So that means everybody now, guys, we're going to roll initiative, and everyone is going to be able to add 2 to their result because Director George is going to tell us what Director Allen says to you guys to kind of employ Presidio squad tactics here.
So he's gonna quietly call out. Let's see. We never thought about this for the show. This is a good thing to know. It says maneuver Delta.
Okay. So and everyone knows, even the most the lay people, sort of what your role is in that case, which is to, I guess, get behind fucking cover.
Yeah.
All right, then what I need everyone to do is you're gonna roll 2d6 plus 2 plus either your Dex modifier or your Wits. I'm sorry, your Agility modifier or your Wits modifier, whichever one's better. I'm gonna roll for these things. I rolled fucking terribly. They're unless you guys shit the bed on this one, you guys will for sure be going first.
How far off are the 2 that I spotted from us?
They about 30 yards.
Good.
Okay, maybe what I'll do here, guys, is I'll create a turn order tracker. I'll also add everyone on there. Boom.
That's handy.
Boom. And then I'll just put you guys in the order that you guys are acting. We're not going to roll each round. We'll do it, D20 style kind of thing. Okay, let's see here. So at the top, I believe, is Harry. Is that right? Harry's at 14.
Yep.
Dr. Pickens is at 13. Who's next? Dr. Harewood's at 12. And then Director, is
Jenny
there.
has a 10.
Jenny's at 10. All right, great. So I am for sure after all of you guys. Let me do the reveal here. Go to the old GM layer. And I'll put shit down here. Okay.
Somebody's happening in the land of imagination.
Okay, here we go. Let me get this going here.
This has been fun so far, though.
Excellent. I am thrilled to hear. Okay.
Pro tip, don't get in front of Jenny's gun.
Understood.
Jenny's got a gun.
Nice.
Nice.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Okay, guys. So here's what is coming up through the yard, and you can see now clearly what is approaching you. 6 inhuman ghouls. So, guys, let's talk about combat. First up is going to be Agent Harper. So remember, you can do a major action and a minor action. Minor action is an aim, a move, draw a weapon, change a weapon, whatever. Or you can trade your major one in to do 3 total minor actions in a round.
And I assume reload is a minor action.
Reload is a minor action as well, correct. Harry, what are you doing?
So my pistol says range 30 feet. And if they're at 30 yards away...
those are range increments, just like in I mean, to be honest, most every other game we play. So
Okay.
it just means that you will be taking a modifier once it's outside the that range. Excuse me.
Well, then I'm thinking
Excuse me.
about switching to the shotgun, though, because they're going to try to get up close, and that's an up close and personal sort of
Yeah.
thing to do. So I think I'm going to spend my as much of my turn as it costs to reholster the pistol and switch to the shotgun from the back.
So you know what the modifiers are? Let me see here. Range. Where am I here? It is... twice the distance of your... Wait. Here we go. So 1/4 of the weapon's range score gives you +1 to hit. If it's beyond the range but up less than twice the range away, you take -2 to hit. If it's beyond that but less than 4 times the range, you take -4.
All right.
That sounds like a lot, but I bet it's pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that these things are at long range for you. So it'd be -2 to hit for now.
Okay, but I'm still thinking, right? These are ghouls. They don't have guns. They're not going to start shooting at us.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
They're going to try to get up close. So I'm switching to the shotgun.
Okay. So I think it's a minor action to stow your thing away. Minor action to get the shotgun out. You want to spend 1 more aiming?
Yeah, I'll.
So you got +1 to your next attack roll.
Yeah.
Dr. Pickens, what are you doing?
I'm gonna scan the area and look for anywhere that has cover.
There's
Somewhere to hide.
Yep, there's a dilapidated. So a 1 minor action to scan. You can see that there is one of these burned out cars right near there.
Yeah, I'm gonna duck behind the burned out car.
Okay. Do you bring the bag with you?
Yeah, I drag the bag over there.
Okay.
I do know it's important, and it's my role to protect it. So.
You got it. Dr. Harewood, what are you doing?
I will follow Pickens, and that's 1. And maybe I'll shoot 2, because then I'll already have cover, right? And then I'm going to just take a shot with 1.
You got it. Okay, what's the range on your gun?
It's 30 feet, so I'll be at long range.
Yep. Okay. So you run over, you aim, you get +1 to hit. It's -2 for long range, so it'll be a net -2. These things are going to dodge.
I have a laser sight, so I get a +1.
Nice. So you get a total... so no modifiers apart from whatever you're... Now, do you have guns at 0 or...
No.
No guns, because that means you're rolling with a Bane. So 3d6, take the lowest 2 and then add your agility modifier.
I have no agility modifier.
Nice. I love seeing characters do things they're shitty at.
Yeah. So I think this is right. So I would get a 3.
3. Hold on. Let's see here. Oh, 3. Yeah. So you know, in spite of the laser sight, you just fire off. First shot goes for Dr. Harewood. It goes wild.
He should be the first one to shoot. He's nervous.
Totally.
Yeah.
Plus, he did actually draw a bead on them right away. Jenny, what are you doing?
After hearing the shot, Jenny does a quick inhale of breath, focuses down. Okay.
So I'm just changing one thing up here. There we go.
Nice.
Sorry, Jenny, what were you doing?
Okay. So hearing the gunshot go off, she just blinks, inhales, opens her eyes, sights down the side of her gun, and pulls the trigger in one smooth motion.
Nice.
Tries to take off the closest one coming at them.
Absolutely. That's short range for you, right?
Yeah,
That's
1,500 feet.
So that's how many feet? Sorry.
1,500 feet for the sniper rifle.
1,500 feet. That means you're getting +1 from it being in your short range as well.
Okay.
So +2 from the range and from aiming. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Guns too, right? So.
Yep. So it'd be your gun plus your agility. Oh, that's a terrible roll.
Yeah, but it's still a +8.
Holy shit. Now, okay, so that means you got an effect of 2 on it. So go ahead and roll that. That is a hit. Even though, okay, this thing dodged as well too, so it would have been a 9 is your total roll, but you still hit with an effect of 1. Go ahead and roll damage and add +1 from your effect.
5, +1.
Yep.
Eat lead, ghoul.
Holy shit. So you blow a hole through this thing. It spins around and falls down, completely dead.
And the camera pans back to her, and you see her left, right corner of her mouth just smirk up.
Nice.
Down.
Director Allen, what are you doing?
So he's just completely 100% calm, like he's been through this a million times.
Yep.
So unlike Harewood and probably Pickens, he's like totally, no shakes, nothing. He's he's got his pistol already out, so he's going to move behind some cover, either a burned out car or a dumpster or whatever he can find.
Yep.
And he's going to take first. Before he starts aiming, which is going to be his third.
Sorry, is he taking? He's one minor to move over.
Yeah, and then he's going to do two. He's going to sacrifice his major for 2 more minors.
Okay, great. So taking cover would give a bonus. It would be a penalty for them to hit you. It'd be cover.
Cool.
Okay.
And then he wants to pull out. He's got some quick reload cylinders.
Yep.
He wants to put one easily accessible, like in his pocket.
You got it.
Kind of pull it out so he can like grab it if he needs it, and then he's going to kind of brace himself against the cover and take aim. So when on the next round when they're closer, he can take a shot.
So you've got +1. All right, then it's Harry. What are you doing?
Are they not going?
Oh, did I? Hold on. I had them in the wrong spot, I guess. Oh, I added them after you guys had started taking turns. Sorry. They're going after... Oh, right, after Director Allen. Sorry, guys. All right, so these things, they are spending their full actions going in. They are about maybe 2-3 meters away at this point. So they are right in on you, and that's when you see there's actually 5 more that are, or 5 that are still left here. Harry, what are you doing?
So just to be clear, these things move fast.
They move very fast.
Like everybody, be wary.
Now you also get a -1 to hit these things because they move so quick this turn. So Harry, you're up first. What are you doing?
I'm gonna blast one of them with my shotgun.
Hell yeah! So +1 for short range, +1 for aiming, -1 for their movement, which means it's a 1, and they can't dodge your shotgun.
They cannot. Ignores dodge modifiers. So then I get agility and guns. So that's a total of +4.
Yep, they don't know that, so they are dodging. They're going to take a penalty to their attacks.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Nice. Yeah, that is a big hit. You do 2 points. That's an effect of 4. Go ahead and roll your damage. Add +4. What does it look like as one of these things goes down?
Well, Harry's got the shotgun on the hip, right, and just blasts one of them, and it flies backward from the blast.
Yeah, love it. Dr. Pickens, what are you doing?
I think that he opens his jacket or whatever. I don't know, kind of maybe a holster, and he looks at this gun.
Does he even maybe have it in his pocket?
Yeah, maybe it's just in his pocket. He pulls out the gun that the director gave him before they left the facility, and he's looking at it and, sort of like trying to figure... I guess he knows how. He turns on the laser sight, and he's just kind of aiming the laser sight at the ghouls, but he doesn't fire. Okay, so 1 action to draw the weapon, 1 action to aim. We'll give him an aim bonus from that. You still have 1 more minor if you want to do anything, or... Yeah, he's not shooting yet. Not shooting yet, okay. Dr. Harewood, what are you doing? These things are right on you now.
Yeah, they're right on top of him, so his professionalism is going to take over.
Love it.
As he drops the laser sight on him and takes a slow breath and squeezes the trigger.
Here we go.
All right. So that means he would get, it's 3d6.
Yep.
High, even though he doesn't have
it'll be
skill.
so they're dodging, so it's -1 to your roll. Otherwise you get +1 from the range, so that cancels out, and then just roll.
I can aim once for my minor.
You can, yeah. So then it's a net of +2, I think, from your laser sight and from your aim.
All right.
So go ahead. Yeah, and take 3, 6 to keep the lowest 2. So 6.
10.
8 is enough.
Well, wouldn't it be a 10 because he's using professionalism? His asset?
Oh,
change it to 3d6?
No, so you've got you don't have any skill in with weapons, right? So if you're using what you have a Bane already because you don't have any. You're not trained in guns. What the boon from your professionalism would do is cut it out.
2 dice. It would have been two dice.
So we'll keep the first 2 then. Yeah, so that's you actually get an effect of 10 on this. Go ahead and roll damage. Give +2. Not effective 10, effective 2.
Oops, -1. Oh, that's wrong. -1.
There we go.
Nice.
Oh, it wings it. But this thing is still coming in on you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. All right. Then, Agent Jenny, what are you doing?
Okay, so is there like one right on us, even though Harry blew one away?
Yeah, it's like these things are now about 6 feet away from you.
Okay, so Jenny's just using a minor action. She's gonna, as these things rush to her, she just calmly reloads her sniper rifle, pulls the thing back, locks it in place, and then pulls it up and tries to slam it in the face with the back of her.
Love it. Okay,
sniper
cool.
rifle.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that would be melee, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So, well, actually, and you're going to have to hold on. They're actually not on you. They're still 6 feet away. So,
Okay.
are you going to ready an action and then try and
I
get in?
I can ready. So I figured when she's reloading is when they're closing in, and then she's just gonna, when they get close, pop them.
Awesome. Okay.
Like she's gonna gear up, and can I use agility to do it, or would that just be strength?
You can use agility to hit. Yeah, yeah. Melee is you can use agility or strength when you make the attack, but that's not going to happen until on their turn because you've readied your thing. Okay. That means next up is Director Allen. What are you doing?
Okay, so I hadn't flicked on my laser sight yet because I was waiting for them to get close and didn't want them to see where I was hiding out.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I flick it on, and then there's a beam of red light.
Did you have a minor action left over?
No, I purposely didn't want it on.
No,
I
I'm
wanted
wondering if
to-
you had. The reason I ask is because if
didn't. I
you
used
had
3.
one, oh, you used 3. Okay. If
Yeah.
you had used one other one, you could have used stealth to try and hide on these things, and then you get a boon on the attack as well.
That's okay. I have an idea for maybe potentially getting a boon.
Oh, nice. Okay, so what do you think here?
So what I haven't told everybody is that in 52, I fought a pack of these things in East Berlin, and it did not go well. But I learned one thing, which is where they're vulnerable to when you shoot them.
Nice.
So he's going for a certain part of the head. So he's like literally the little red beam like tracks up one of their heads up to like right below its ear.
Yeah.
And if there's one that looks like it might get or be close to Dr. Pickens, that's the one he's targeting.
Definitely is. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So there you see it kind of arrive, and so he's got aim and he's got a laser sight, but he's got -1.
Okay.
So that's going to be an effective +1, I believe.
And you also get +1 for short range because these things are basically right on top of you.
So I'm at a +2, so that gives me a +5.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm not typing into the box. Oops. So that would be.
Holy shit, that's great.
It would be,
So it's
but
15.
he's not doing it.
15.
So that would be a 15. Yeah.
Holy shit! So that's an effect of 7. Go ahead and roll damage. Add +7. Well, so I think your weapon is a
I get a
3d6
penalty.
-3. Yeah. So it's
Right.
so 3d6 +4.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, this thing's its head is blown open.
I like it, and I love the body, which just falls right in front of Pickens. Like it
Yes!
is.
Who just has his gun out too?
Yeah, yeah.
Dust
Okay.
He
puffed
would have
up.
even had it trained on that one, the laser
Yep.
sight, but hadn't actually shot.
Okay.
So maybe you don't know maybe you think you shot it.
He's not even sure.
He
Yeah.
looks at his gun. What?
Hey, he's
the-
been drinking. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so ghouls. So first thing is let's do the one with Jenny. Jenny, go ahead. What is your agility?
It is 12.
12. Okay.
So I have +2 modifier.
+2 modifier. Give me a 2d6 +2. We're gonna see who acts first because you've readied your action. You can try and jump in beforehand. Simultaneous action. All right.
Okay.
So now you have an option. I am going to be attacking you. You have an option to take a reaction to try and either parry, in which case I take a penalty equal to your melee ability, or you can dodge, which is I take a pen. Well, actually it's melee, so I don't think you can dodge in melee. No, you can. You can take either agility modifier. That's where dodge comes in.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with the dodge modifier.
Okay.
Have to like dodge underneath and like clock it underneath it.
Yep. So not this attack roll, but your next one, you're going to take a what do you call it? A -1 to your thing. So just remember that. But go ahead and make your attack. We'll get the hero to make your attack roll first. I can roll simultaneously. All right. So that is a hit, even with his its dodge. It is a 9, so you have an effect of 1. damage for that. Let me see here. I think damage is going to be, I think 1d6. Let me see here. And I'll let you add your strength. Do you have a strength modifier?
I don't know.
Is it a strength penalty?
No.
Which one of your things has the penalty?
I have a penalty in education.
Oh, right. Okay, never mind. Never mind. That is not. You're not trying to outsmart them. I'll think you to death.
Didn't go to Harvard like some of us.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you went, you just didn't stay.
Yeah.
So actually, it'll be 2d6 damage. 2d6 damage for you.
Plus my 1 for effect.
Plus 1 for effect, yep.
Underneath the jaw.
So, this thing's hit aside. As it hits you, or as you hit it, its claws rake along the side of you as well. And you take, oh boy, you take 9 points of damage.
Okay. My dramatic prompt would come into play.
Okay. So we'll, what we're going to do is I think we'll be done this scene in a moment. So I'll give you your dark secret to consider during our break, but thank you very much for that. For those listening at home, every one of our characters has a dramatic prompt which will allow the player to read their dark secret. And then the player will incorporate the dark secret into the session. And when they do that, everybody gets this resource called a drama point that they can use to use basically their most badass abilities. All right, so you, Jenny, this thing rakes along your side, and fear completely paralyzes you. What is your... So your toughness is an 8, it looks like.
Yes.
Okay, so that means you've taken... all your toughness is gone. You're the player. Where do you think this... Do you think it's affecting your strength or affecting your agility?
I think she took a pretty good... I would go with strength.
Okay, so you're...
Based on the claws just digging in and grabbing a muscle that she used to thrust it with.
Okay.
So
maybe let's do this. Put your name and your current stat in chat. That'll be a way of sort of tracking that for all of us. And what happens now? Your strength is now a 3, right?
No, it's a 5.
A 5. 3, so 3. So you now have -1 as a modifier for strength. Okay. So Jen, and you can Harry, you hear your wife call out. Next, I'm gonna have one. So one's down. One's coming in on Dr. Harewood. Dr. Harewood, are you gonna dodge or parry? So you do not. Let's hear.
Dodge.
Nope, somebody's a...
Yeah, your melee is a 0, so your dodge. Your agility modifier is no modifier either. So really, like you ain't gaining much. You're unfortunately not really a terribly good combatant. What I'll say is that you're going to need a minimum of -1. You can trade a -1 for it. So your next attack will be that.
He has cover, right?
Cover doesn't help really against melee. So this guy comes in and he actually misses you, Dr. Harewood. And then the last one I think is going to go in on the one that was going on Dr. Pickens' shot. Harry, you got one coming in on you, buddy. Are you dodging?
All right.
Or parrying?
I'm gonna parry.
Okay, what's your melee?
I have 3 in melee.
Nice. I take -3 to my roll here. There's no way that hits. So he comes in, and you're sort of keeping this thing at a distance with your shotgun.
Yep.
All right. End of the turn. Top of the round is Harry. What are you doing next?
All right. So I think what I do is I'm gonna this thing is reaching out for me, and I've got the shotgun, and I sort of shove it backwards and spin around to shoot the one on Jenny.
Nice! Oh, that's so great. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm calculating out. So I get -1 for taking the reaction.
Yep.
And I get guns plus agility, so that's +2. Seems kind of like it's a little cocksure to shoot the zombie that is not attacking you, but
Fuck yeah.
I don't know.
Well, also, it's pretty darn cocksure to shoot fire a shotgun right next to your wife, too.
Yeah,
So.
I know. She's
Wait till you see what Jenny's gonna do.
Yeah.
All right, so that is a 10.
Okay.
And
10, 8. It's an 8 is a hit, so you got an effect of 2. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right, 46 plus 2.
Yeah, this one's gone. What does it look like as you blast this thing away?
Oh, it's getting ready for another strike, and I just blast it like so that the entire like shoulder and upper part of its chest kind of collapses into itself.
And down it goes. Dr. Pickens, what are you doing?
I think that he's it's sort of like George said, he's like not even sure whether he did that or what, so he just trains his laser on another one of the ghouls, but again he's not pulling the trigger, he's just got it lined up.
Okay, so he's trembling and pointing his gun at him. Dr. Harewood, you got one ghoul in your grill there. What are you doing? Oh, you're muted, Hobbs.
Seeing my line go up like it's a noisy mic when I'm not doing anything. So basically, having not much luck with the pistol so far, he's gonna, when he dodges to the side, he's gonna come down and try and pistol whip it.
Love it. Go ahead and make a melee. Yeah, this thing is not gonna. It'll dodge. You take -1.
I got a -2 then.
Yeah.
Oh.
Swing, and it just you maybe kind of like run it along its back. It's not a damaging strike. Jenny, what are you doing?
So those are signature skills we can use once per scene, right?
Signature skills? No. The signature skills are for the whole session. You get the auto success with an effective 1.
Okay.
It's your assets you can use once per scene.
Okay. So what Jenny's gonna do? She just took a claw from this beast, and then it got blown aside by a shotgun blast. So she's gonna like half drop her sniper rifle with her wounded arm and let it rest, breathe, and then fire at the one right next to her husband with the loaded gun just to take it out.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead and make your attack roll. We'll give you the -1 for short range. I don't think you're going to be able to aim it, so I won't let you get an aim modifier for it. But otherwise, and this thing is not. It's not going to dodge.
So guns is 4 +2 for agility, -1 for short range.
Yeah, so it's +5, I think. Holy shit! Holy shit!
Oh man!
So the damage is add +9 because your effect is 9.
Oh.
Holy! So what does it look like? And I love this idea, the two of you taking each other's attackers out.
So the way I see it, the last turn she hit it with the back of her sniper rifle. It clawed her and it got rocked back. Her husband shot it, and she just spun around and fired back in the same reflexive action.
Amazing. Awesome.
And she, with her last minor action, she reloads it.
Okay, love it.
Face the other one.
Director Allen, what are you doing?
Down her fingers.
Nice.
So you see on this one ghoul who's kind of writhing and coming in there's this red dot coming from Dr. Pickens' laser sight, and suddenly it splits in 2. And you realize Dr. Allen was also aiming at it and like moves up to the ear and is going to try to, so he aims and he's going to take a shot.
Go right ahead.
So I think I'm at +3 laser sight, aim, and short range. That makes sense?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So I'm +6. Here we go. Oh, except that's didn't work.
Yes,
32.
32.
I believe George has learned how to master this game.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so even with your, and this thing's not going to be, you can't see you shooting at it. It's too occupied with Dr. Harewood. That's an effective 3. Go ahead and roll damage.
So it's just going to be
flat 3d6 then.
Yeah, exactly.
And this
10.
one's been injured. What does it look like as you kill this thing?
So it suddenly bares its fangs as it's about to leap on Dr. Pickens.
Yeah.
And then when the bullet hits, because these bullets are small, they don't do a lot of damage. It's just targeted perfectly.
Yeah.
It just suddenly drops dead. Like it just falls over,
Whoa.
lifeless.
All right, Dr. Harewood, maybe you did take this thing down.
Dr. Pickens, yeah.
Okay. Now, Dr. Harewood, one thing you can do as well. Oh, we can't hear you, Hobbs.
A little bit of blood splatters on the side of his face.
Get your handkerchief, man.
Okay. Now, anybody who has the medic skill, you can make a test against 8, the DC 8 to try and do first aid. That will restore a number of characteristic points equal to your effect.
I could use some.
Okay.
And hey, how many people are hurt? So the person is doing like sit rep. Who's hurt?
I have medic skill 2, so I can.
Okay, and hold on. I am going to do our first reveal of a dark secret. So, guys, you'll see that there is a folder called Handouts.
Mhm.
Jenny, you get yours now. Let me edit this so you can read it.
Cool.
So, let's see here. Jenny. Now, remember, what you can do, there you go, should be there. Pop it open, read it through, and then you choose how you want to incorporate that into the scene.
Okay, we're gonna do our bio break.
We're going to do a bio break in a moment here. First, let's do the first aid, and you have medic. Dr. Harewood obviously has it a lot better.
Okay.
And
Save my-
Director Allen's going to say to Harewood and make sure she's not infected.
Well, everyone gets what you're what you know is that everyone has shots. Everyone has their shots beforehand. One of the things that you get your immunization against is against ghoul infection.
Great.
So you're.
I would say that in case he had forgotten. We've all been pre-vaccinated for ghoul infection ever since that epidemic 6 years ago in Watts neighborhood.
Absolutely. Right. So go ahead and give us a medic check then, please. Dr. Harewood, let's see how much Jenny gets to get back.
So if the equipment doesn't give you a bonus, it's just you have the equipment. Otherwise,
that allows you to do the skill, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
4 + 2.
Yeah, and you've already used an asset this scene, I think, so.
Yep.
Yeah. That's still pretty damn good.
Yeah, so 6.
So you get 6 back, Jenny, as and you can choose to put that back wherever you want, on your strength, on your toughness, whatever.
I'm gonna put it back all on toughness.
So your toughness is now a 6, and you're still suffering that strength penalty then. That's fine? Okay.
So
Awesome.
strength.
Okay. So yeah, you get, you're restored. John has that now. Now, what happens next? You've got 6 ghoul bodies that are around you. What are you planning on doing here?
We need to hide the bodies. Let's see if we can find like a car, like in the middle left, something that has some kind of open trunk that we could shove the bodies in and slam it closed.
Should we look around and see what their vector point is, how they were bitten or anything, or we're positive there's no way any of these are the king, right?
Well, that's a great idea. We shouldn't overlook that. Who knows?
Okay. So you look over these things, Dr. Harewood, as you guys are kind of, everyone's taking a quick look around here. Dr. Harewood, what you can see is 3 of these things definitely look like what you expect. They're variations of the ghoul. They're variations of the virus making its way towards transforming the, and as a reminder here, humans into that. The other 3 look like this.
Huh.
Recently turned.
Heavily deformed African-American men and women.
Yeah,
And
what is like the gestation period? How long does it normally take from bite to ghoul?
It normally will work its way. It'll kill the host. It'll work its way like a normal virus, kill the victim, and then they're reanimated by the virus as a ghoul.
In our history, have we ever known people to get hit by ghouls and not get infected?
The only measure of protection that there is against ghoul infection is preventative.
Oh.
If you have the immunization, then you're fine. And, that's why they developed it. That's why you guys are able to go out and fight these things. If you don't, it's a problem. And speaking of problems, Dr. Harewood, 2 things you notice here. 1, these 3 African-American bodies here, they're wearing clothing still, which is really unusual for ghouls, because normally by going into the ground, coming up, it gets torn away. There's also no vector point on these 3 bodies. There's no way that this stuff was... something that they were bit. And like, you guys see Dr. Harewood kind of tears the clothes open and turns the bodies over, gets one of you guys to help him with it. You can't catch the virus by touching the bodies. But you check these things. There's no vector point. You check it a second time. There's no way that these things were in the process of, or they didn't get the virus by way of a ghoul bite. But what this does remind you of, the symptoms, the manifestation of this stuff, it reminds you of your work. So I'm going to give you your dark secret.
I was going to say, because it says once you examine a monster without any obvious injury, but it obviously has injury because we hit it.
Yeah. No, it's so here. I will give you your dark secret, and then we will take our break, and you guys can decide how best to incorporate your dark secret. Now, the reason, for those listening at home, the reason the players may want to incorporate their dark secret is because when they do, they get a drama point, and everybody in the group gets a drama point. So, there you go. Do you see that in the handouts now, Hobbs?
Yes.
Perfect. So let's take our break, guys. I'll take 5 minutes. We'll come back, and we'll see the fallout of those dark secrets. So,
Awesome.
Back soon.
Cool. I feel like Kevin should just write all of this system up as a full, game that people can download PDF of.
Your co-produced show might turn into a video game or a tabletop.
They are making, tabletop RPGs out of like The Expanse and like all of those shows that have been successful recently, genre shows. So,
all
who knows?
right. Okay, so John and Hobbs, have you guys had an opportunity to review your Dark Secret?
I've had nothing but time to review it.
And Hobbs, you've had a chance to review your Dark Secret?
I have, sir.
Okay, so
I ain't saying shit.
Okay, and let's just we said this before we went live too. Remember, guys, like the purpose of having the Dark Secret is to get them into play, right? Like there are a function of drama. That's why you get rewards for it. It's something you're supposed to incorporate into this is you wearing your DM hat. Remember that's the purpose of having them.
So it will probably create conflict, but that's the.
I will reveal it at the appropriate time.
Okay.
I have no problem doing it right now.
Yeah, and again, like it's I will leave it to your discretion in terms of timing, but like the intent is not to leave it to the last second of the game, right? Like that's the drama comes from dealing with your dark secrets. It's not revealing them.
I just want the drama points.
Yes, because everyone's got sweet talents they haven't had a chance to use yet.
That's right.
All right, so guys, we are still in where we are right now is Harry. We're in that empty, vacant lot. It's completely dark. All you hear the sounds of maybe some other things going. The cacophony of the gunshots going off in this darkened lot have now died down. There's no reaction seemingly from anyone anywhere. You can hear sirens probably, 10 blocks or 20 blocks away. Dr. Harwood has finished checking over and double-checking these bodies. Harry is making sure his wife is okay. I think we turn the spotlight to you, Hobbs. What did you have something you wanted to say or do? Oh, you're muted.
Hobbs, you're muted.
He's really keeping it secret.
I just went over all that to see what was going on. So Dr. Harwood has seemed to be focused on these strange looking ghouls that don't look anything like the pictures that you guys have actually seen, and he seems to be getting agitated more and more as the moments pass on, as the silence seems to be, but you can just kind of hear him shuffling around in the grit of this parking lot that we found ourselves in. Finally, you can just hear him saying, no, it's not possible. And he kind of gives some angry glares at the director occasionally. Someone has released my work. Do you know anything of this, director?
What do you mean, released your work?
These symptoms on these victims, it's from my necrophage virus.
It has nothing to do with me.
It's part of my work. I was hoping that we could use it to work on victims that we could target on, sickening the meat that the creatures prey on. But it seems someone else is using it for ill in Harlem.
So that's what's turning these, however many were
3.
Did any of them have Vector? 3 of them. That's what turns these 3 into ghouls. You think?
It must be. I've seen nothing else that could do this, and I've seen this on my test subjects.
Was Jenny attacked by one of the full-on ghouls or one of these mutated ones?
Full on. Hold on. Dr. Harwood, are you saying that Presidio was active in Harlem?
That or someone else that somehow had access to my work.
Definitely was not Presidio. I do not know who may have gotten access to your work. We'll have to figure that out later. We don't have time to stand around here.
He did say that he can tell because of his test subjects on other humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would be Dr. Elliot's dramatic prompt.
Wait, what?
Nice.
Shocking.
The dominoes are falling.
Hold on here. So, Dr. Pickens, let me share your dark secret with you. Okay, Jeff, you have access to your dark secret.
okay.
Go ahead on the handouts and read it.
So while he's doing that, I'm like scanning around because obviously we were just gunshots were going off, like we were making a lot of noise, and I know it's been quiet, but that's only making me more not nervous but concerned.
Jenny wants to walk over to Harwood. She wants to start grilling him on like, how did he get this necrophage virus? Where did he make it from? What's the facts?
And Director, I step in immediately and to shut this down, and I say, it doesn't matter how it happened. We need to find the king. That is the problem. That is the mission of the night. We can talk about this later. We'll figure it out. Right now, locate that king and take it down before these ghouls turn into a full-on force of hive mind that can cause great destruction. Especially now when it's still dark and I don't know when this, and I hope it will, but I don't know when this blackout will let up.
You worked with Genevieve for a while, but you notice there's a distinct hint of maybe defiance in her eyes, but she catches herself and she's not letting it go, but she's stepping back.
Cool, and Director Allen just like moves ahead, just he lays down the law and like turns off like as if everybody's just gonna follow exactly what he says.
Yeah, Harewood is all a little concerned. Sorry, go ahead.
Elliot grabs the director and he pulls him aside from sort of everyone else. And he says, "What did you have me do?"
Director pulls his hand free. You did what you needed to do.
Okay.
Now keep quiet about it.
2 seconds here, guys, because I forgot. Dr. Harewood has revealed his dark secret. Everybody gets a drama point.
Ooh, nice.
Dr.
Very
Pickens is in the process of revealing his dark secret. Everyone gets a drama point. You're sitting on 2 of them now. Arlen, were you trying to say something as well?
Was I? So I haven't had definitive proof yet, but I'm pretty sure that the director is lying about Presidio being involved in Harlem.
Let me share your dark secret with you.
Yep.
I mean, come on, guys. What do you?
Oh.
Why would I lie about
Well, I would like to point out that if these are 2 different species of ghouls, do we know that the Ghoul King controls the new kind that Dr. Harewood's harebrained schemes have concocted?
Well, we can't take the chance.
I resent that.
Okay, so Arlen, go ahead and read your dark secret, and then
All right.
decide, and then Jeff sounds like he's got the spotlight right now. Dr. Pickens has pulled Director Allen aside. What do you say?
Yeah, he said, "What did you have me do?" And you said, "What you needed to do."
Yeah.
He says it in a low whisper now. He says, "Did we make these things?"
Presidio has a mission. That's all that's important, and that's all you need to know. And he like leans in, and he's for once being actually threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
mean, Elliot is very frightened of the director, so I think he already feels that he's pushed the limits here on this.
Yeah,
But
and
maybe
go ahead, Jeff.
he's maybe thinking that if he gets a chance, he may try to tell the Hearsts about it or doctor, but at this point he sort of pushed it as far as he would.
And he said, Director Allen says, "I've given you a lot of leeway, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Do not say a word about this to anyone."
So while the camera, sorry, go ahead, finish. Sorry.
No, that was it.
I was just going to say, while the camera's on them, it goes back to Genevieve, was questioning Harewood while they were there. He's like, "I don't understand. The project was abandoned. Necrophage was abandoned, but it does seem like Presidio must have done something here with it." So the intention of the speculative, I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, that we are nervous about, obviously Presidio, and that Allen is definitely behind some of it. Maybe even Pickens by his weirdness, the way that he's acting.
Pickens and Allen, you can't hear what they're saying, but they are having a very heated conversation on the far side of that car that Pickens was trying to hiding next to.
Yeah,
Okay.
and lots of hard glances over at those two while they're speaking. Obviously, he's talking about you or intimating that it is you guys.
Oh, he knows. He knows, and he just walks up and is like, everyone get it together. We're on a mission. You all pledge yourselves to the initiative. We are here to do one thing, and we're going to do it. And he's going to start moving in the direction he thinks. He's actually going to sort of he's going to take point. He's like moving forward, assuming everybody's going to follow him.
Okay.
And he's got his gun, and he's like just, and his flashlight. And he's,
Harewood nods and puts like bits of their clothing over their faces, the last of these Harlem, and then sadly glances down at him as he reloads his pistol.
Okay.
Picks up the medicine bag.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love it.
Genevieve's got a kind of like forlorn expression on her face and just open defiance looking at the director. And she looks at her husband and for once looks for him, his direction at this point.
I think Dr. Pickens is now just openly drinking from his flask.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love it. Okay. What about Harry?
Harry is gonna follow along for at least now. He's gonna walk along, and then maybe he's gonna, almost as if he's making chit chat, he strikes up a conversation, asks Dr. Harewood, how much do you think, if the city ever comes back, this land will be worth something, won't it? Harlem? What do you think, Director Allen? Is the city ever going to come back from the depths?
I don't know anything about the future except this. There will be none if we do not carry out the mission.
Well, we're winning the war on the Octobers, right? We're going to make a better place for humanity.
We are. That's exactly what we're doing.
And for Presidio.
And for Presidio, the saviors of the world for a millennia.
Certainly the saviors of Harlem.
Of course.
And now,
we protect everyone.
How much of it are they going to own by the end of this?
Is who going to own?
Is Presidio going to own?
What?
Presidio.
Agent.
That sounds like a dark secret revealed.
Oh, nice.
Everybody gets a drama point. That is.
Oh man, the rest of the session's gonna be insane. We all got 3 drama points.
Yeah.
That's good. We're gonna need them to do all the cool shit when we take on the cool shit.
That's right.
Carry on, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. So that is neither here nor there. This is above your pay grade, Agent Harper. Doesn't so normally he calls him Harry. There's like a little bit of a uncle kind of favored son sort of thing. But now he calls him by his actual first name. You will do as you're ordered to do, or you can leave the initiative. It's up to you. I do not think your father would appreciate that. And he's going to try to keep moving forward. Like, we are in danger right now. You saw what just happened. There are more of them. And if the Ghoul King becomes active, all bets are off. So he's just trying to not intimidate everybody, but scare them into feeling like we gotta just do this right now. And maybe they all have a beef with me, but we gotta survive the night for them, for it to make sense to do anything about it.
Okay. What happens next, guys?
So that's what he's trying to make happen, but I don't know if they're gonna go along with that.
Harewood edges near Pickens, puts out his hand to see if he'll offer up the flask, and pulls out his pack of Cool Filter King menthols and offers one to Pickens.
Absolutely. He takes one of the cigarettes and passes him the flask.
All right, as they trade, he quietly asks, how did he know the address?
I don't know. The director is obviously up to something.
All right, he'll nod and turn away, hand the flask back.
What's happening with Harry and Jenny?
Can we hear anything? Like any noises? Is it
No, it's as if, apart from those initial 3, it's completely black.
So I'd like to have a conversation in French, since we can do that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I don't know if the director speaks French, but that seems like one thing that he might have picked up in his travels. But we'll see.
He's a World War II vet.
Yep. So I'm gonna ask Jenny, if the hive mind was out to get us, wouldn't it send reinforcements?
Most likely. I'm beginning to doubt if there is a Ghoul King.
I'm wondering the same thing.
But we have a job to do and at least 2 people to protect.
That's about right. Are you all right?
Flesh
Or
wound.
going to be?
I'll let you know when it's over.
Seems like we're all in that position. It's kind of going around.
Well, these new things scare me.
Yeah. Well, and
We fight monsters, we don't create them.
we men are the monsters now. That's not. I'm not saying that. That's what flashed into my mind.
So, John, I'm going to force things here. I do need you to reveal it, only because if what your intent is to wait until all things are over, it's never going to come out.
Yeah, no, it's that's not my intent. But yeah, she'll say in French to him, "I haven't had my inoculations."
Then we better kill the Ghoul King.
For our future and maybe one more.
Allow me to say, everyone gets a drama point, and Director Noah.
Yep. Triggered my dark secrets.
It did. Go ahead and read your dark secret. Carry on, guys. Harry and Jenny, sorry.
Well, we're gonna figure it out.
Jenny says she just found out not too long ago and didn't know if she was going to tell you or not, but her hand has been forced.
So without the inoculations,
Yeah, she's not sure if the previous one she's gotten will take hold or if they're a yearly thing. She's just saying she hasn't had them recently. With this new virus thing, who knows if the inoculations are even going to work?
George, that is the face I was hoping for when you would read your dark secret.
Oh man.
Okay.
So Harry's,
What?
yeah,
Go ahead.
Harry's kind of immediately gonna turn and shout, "Dr. Harewood, you're the expert on these things." Oh, you're muted, Hobbs.
That was my I'm listening look. No. Harewood will quickly
So you've got, you finish your swig of booze, you hand it back to Dr. Pickens.
tosses his cigarette down, cushes it out. What is it?
How effective? How long are the immunizations against ghoul poison or ghoul effects? How long are they good for?
I can tell you, you don't need to spend anything. That they are really only good for about a 1 month period. That's why you need regular inoculations.
Yeah, so I'll pass that on.
And
Why?
then Harry will just look at Jenny and kind of a questioning look.
Do I have a way to find out if anything's been? It's usually from a bite, but I guess I probably don't know if any of these other hosts.
Could be a
So-
clause.
In the dark secret you posted for Jenny, it doesn't say how long it's been since she found out.
That's right. Oh, since she found out, 2 months.
Okay. Well, it says she's currently 2 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And
So
it's been
she
2
would have.
months
I'm sorry. She would have found out probably about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
A little more. Yeah, maybe no, like a little more than a month ago.
Okay. So she says it's been at least pretty close to a month or more since I had my shot.
So it's likely unaffected at this point. For Harewood, you would know this.
Okay, I'll share that. How is it? The claws can give them the infection.
Yeah.
Oh, because that is the vector, whatever it is.
Yeah, it could be whatever the wound is. And like having treated the wound before too, it was a pretty serious thing.
Yeah, for sure. Do I have a way of testing if she is infected at this point?
Not with what you've got on you, but I mean, like you know this particular virus backwards and forwards. You know that, you know, this is as certain as dropping a glass; it's going to break.
Mm-hmm. It is likely she is infected. How much time do we have in that situation?
Let me rephrase that. The best of your current medical knowledge is that everyone has died who has had this.
How long?
1 day.
Oh.
So enough time to get our job done then.
So Dr. Pickens kind of walks over. I think Director Noah, we've seen you walk forward, and you're just fuming, I guess. Yeah. So you get to the base of the building. You look back, and you can see the four of them are kind of having conversation. It seems with each other. Would you give me a spot check, please?
Okay.
I'm not sure if you have spot.
I do not.
Okay, so that means it's your wits at disadvantage, or at with a bane.
Yeah. Here we go. So that would be a 6.
6. Okay, so you do not hear this as.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so you can't defend against this.
I've turned back around to like pay attention to them, so I'm focused on whatever they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you know, seeing them talking about something. So I'm not paying attention to anything else.
You're hit, and you take 8 points of damage from a ghoul raking along.
You were right. We should be paying attention to what we're doing.
So like, I turn around and then out of nowhere, so I'm down to
this thing is on you. Okay, so you know what? Why don't we do this, because this seems dramatically appropriate. You guys are all kind of talking to each other. You hear a shot go off. Maybe because you're just so pissed off that your trigger discipline is shitty. Yeah. Shot goes off. Let's roll initiative again, guys. And we are... you don't get a chance to make a check or a tactics check, because this is a surprise.
So our agility and 2d6?
Either, agility or wits plus 2d6. Okay, and I'll actually put the numbers in this time. It's easier. Okay. Alan, Jenny's got a 10. Dr. Harewood's got a 10. Nice. Harry's got a 9. And Dr. Pickens, what have you got? 13. Holy smokes.
Jeez.
Oh, I put the wrong number in. 10. 13. Let me roll for these things. I got a 6. So, let me put one of these things down here. Oh, wrong thing. There he is. All right. Add turn. There we go. And on a 6, put it descending. All right. So first up, Dr. Pickens. Shockingly, you're the first up going here. You were maybe walking back towards where you didn't hear what the Hursts and Dr. Harewood were talking about. But you toss your cigarette away, or the remnants of your cigarette, and you hear this gunshot go off about, I don't know, maybe like 50 yards further ahead, near where the kind of burned out building is. What do you do?
I think he'll, as best he can with this heavy bag, run towards the gunshot so that he can see what's going on.
Okay, so you can take 3. What do you call it? 3 actions. Let me see how far you can move. I think it is. So it'll be about 6 yards per minor action. So it's about 18 yards in a turn.
Okay.
So you're about 30 or 32 away from where this thing is. All right. So you're racing off in that direction. Jenny, not surprisingly, you're ready to jump back into action. What are you doing?
Yeah, her head whips towards the gunshot, and she tries to spot whatever it is, what's going on.
Do you want to spend a minor action to get your scope up first to Starlight?
Sure.
Okay. So you go ahead and give me. I'll give you a boon on that. We are in a new scene now, too, guys. So you have an opportunity to use assets again.
D6, and it's a spot.
Also, everyone has 4 drama points with which to power their talents. So feel free to start indulging in those things.
So a spot check, right?
Yes, please. If you're actually looking, I think it's investigate.
Oh, it's the same roll.
Same, yeah, no problem. So that's a 7, it's a 10. That is a success. That's effective 2. So what you can see is that there is, let me move these down here. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to make the turn order go over here. And then I'll put the ghouls, the little tokens, on whoever they're on. So Director Allen has one ghoul that's basically on him. You can see that there are 7 others that are sort of all coming out of that same building. Some of them are dropping down onto windows or crawling down the side like a gecko, but they are all converging on the director.
She's going to say incoming, and then she's going to draw a bead on the one of the director and pull the trigger.
Okay. Oh, I don't think you've got enough actions to do that. Not this turn, at least.
You said there's a minor action to get my gun up and look, right?
Right, but it's a minor action to scan as well.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll just do a minor action, a third minor action then.
To aim?
To aim.
Sure, okay. You got it. Dr. Harewood, what are you doing? Oh, you're muted, Hobbs. Son of a biscuit.
I did say son of a biscuit.
You needed to get one in there.
I said it out loud.
Nice.
He'll run forward with Pickens. Director Allen. Like he can see that he's
sure.
wounded poorly.
Yep, so you're running alongside Dr. Pickens. Excellent. Harry, what are you doing?
I am going to. So if they're falling out of windows, can I see some? I can't necessarily see down where the director is, but I can see those guys.
So what I would do is you can see those guys.
Okay. Well, I just want to shoot one of the ghouls. I don't
go right ahead. So they're 50 yards away. So that's 150 feet.
So that is my effective range for the shotgun.
Nice. Okay, so bring the shotgun up.
2d6 plus guns plus agility is 3.
Boom! Big hit with an effective 5. Go ahead and roll damage. Boom! What does it look like as one of them goes away?
Well, I caught one of them as he's like dropping out of the window, so there's just like a blood splatter on the wall and a dead ghoul at the bottom.
Nice. It's like a skeet shooting. All right, Director Allen, what are you doing?
So he's like, son of a bitch, and he like turns around, like one arm is kind of like hanging sort of limply.
Yeah.
And he just turns and he aims. He doesn't aim. Sorry, he just turns and fires, trying to hit this thing.
So like mechanically, he could use his minor action to aim. Like it's just him.
Well, he doesn't want to. Here's what his plan is. So you tell me if I can do this. His plan is to try to just shoot this thing, and I in an ideal world he kills it, and then he could try to back
sure,
up to,
absolutely.
reform tactically with his
totally.
with his companions.
So you're getting +1 for short range anyway. This thing is sort of evading and whatnot, so that it's a -1 from that. So I think you've got no. Your laser
I've got
sight.
a +1, yep, from the laser sight, and then my guns.
Go right ahead.
So I've got a +3.
Yep.
+3 total.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a effective 5. So go ahead and roll damage.
So it's 3d6, and it'll wind up being a +2 instead.
Yep.
+5. 14.
Nice. Okay. This one is blown off of you. And then what do you do?
This is the first time. Well, this is the first time that I haven't actually been very careful and aimed and lined up a shot. Like I'm just like,
yeah.
And then I just scramble as far as I can get, like, almost dragging myself back towards my companions.
So you're about 6 yards closer.
Form up, form up.
Okay. All right. So we've got. Let's see here. So 6 other ghouls to go here. I think there's gonna be 3 that are going on Director Allen. You guys can trigger your talents at any point. You do not need to do them on your turn, just in case anyone wants to make use of them.
Oh, that's good to know.
And then it will have one is gonna. The other two are gonna start running towards the Hursts, who are. Oh, actually, I guess Harewood and Pickens are the ones that are closest. So we've got them running towards each other, and I will let Hobbs and Jeff decide which of the two is the one that the last ghoul goes towards. Which do you think would be the more tempting target, guys, for the ghouls?
Between the two of us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I picked Pickens.
I mean, I was in the front.
I think that because Pickens is carrying the bag, he might be a little bit slower. If that plays in.
That's true. Yep.
Okay. So it's their racing. They're not going to reach you, but they're sure as shit. Like they're now about 20 yards away. You've run 18. Oh, they're about maybe 6 feet away from you at this point.
Oh boy.
Now, the ones that are on Director Allen. Now, each defense that you do gives another -1 to your next roll. So do you want to defend against all three of these?
Yes, I have to. I'm going to rely on my companions to, for their offensive capabilities. And
So
I'm gonna try
are
to
you
protect
parrying
myself,
or dodging?
I am going to parry because I have a penalty on my strength.
Ugh. Okay, yeah,
wait,
so
I have no bonus to agility. So
the bonus,
I have,
that'll be a -1
well,
to the roll.
right. So it'll be right. Yeah. So yeah, agility. I'm going to try to dodge.
Okay, yeah. So then they take a -1 to their. Well, whether you do melee or the other, I think it's a net -1 anyway. Okay, so I need a 9 to hit you. Let's see. First one comes in. You're able to, comes in and you fucking kick it and it goes to the side. The second one comes running in. That actually hits.
Mm-hmm.
You take, oh my god, 11 points of damage.
Okay, so the first one comes off toughness, and then the other ones I put onto agility. Well, it seems, okay. So I can split them up between strength and agility, or should I just put them all
absolutely.
agility?
And just describe for us kind of what the wound is.
Yeah.
And the last one
6, 7,
misses.
8, 9, 10. Okay, so sorry, go ahead.
So I think it kind of gets in. The one grabs you with claws, and the other one's coming in. You kind of throw it in the in the direction of this ghoul, and it hits it and isn't able to get in at you. What is the first wound? What wounds have you suffered?
So it slashes me across the stomach and rips through my very cool bespoke suit that I own, which it really pisses him off.
Yeah.
And it rips a hole in it, and there's just blood pouring out of his side. So he has his strength is 0.
Yeah.
His toughness is 0. He has 1 agility left.
Oh my god! Oh, I didn't plan that either. Okay, so he is really, really hurt. Dr.
Yes,
Pickens.
and so he's gonna yell out.
Yeah.
This is nothing. You should have seen Tbilisi in 52.
And what does that do?
So what it does is I spend a drama point to make a leadership test. If I get an 8 or better, all allies in the same scene receive damage, remove damage equal to my effect times 2.
Nice. You have not used an asset this scene, right?
I have not used any.
Well, you did incorporate the bespoke suit into that.
I guess just now.
No, I'm saying you can use. So now you can use
great.
The boon because you haven't used it for anything, right?
Perfect. Yes, I have not. Yeah, that'll be helpful.
Okay.
So leadership 3. These are some of the only positive stats I have, are just like education. All right. So God damn it.
So it's 2.
It's a 9.
2.
So I have 1 effect, but times 5 would be 5.
Why is it only 1?
Well, I needed an 8 or better, and I have to drop the lowest.
Oh, right, because you have the lowest, right?
So it's a 9. So
you get
1.
So you regain 2.
So it's 5 times the effect. Oh, sorry, times 2.
Times 2, yeah.
Times 5. Yeah.
I mean, you can dump another.
I'll take it.
You could dump another drama point and do it again if you like.
I had.
Or are you gonna save it?
5. No.
No?
I'm not gonna live if I save.
Hey, so go ahead.
So I'm gonna spend another one. And let's roll it. Here we go.
So and actually that means Jenny,
same roll.
Oh my god.
No, it's even worse.
It's even worse.
No effect.
So.
All right.
Jenny, you gain 2 back as well.
Okay.
Because that his ability, this is nothing. You should have seen Tbilisi in 52. It affects everyone in the scene. I don't think no one else has taken damage, have they?
I'm still at 5 strength, but my toughness is back to 8.
Okay, nice. All right, so oh man, Director, this is just not going your way. So next up is Dr. Pickens. Now you guys can choose to drop down the initiative if you don't want to go the way you are, but Pickens, you're up next.
Okay, well, there are 3 of them in front of me.
Yeah,
There's
right.
one that's charging
you. Yeah.
1 towards you and 2 towards Dr. Harewood.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna use my talent. See how it goes.
What's
It's
your
called
challenge?
Pray and spray. Spend a drama point to close your eyes and make a mechanics wit test 8+. If you succeed, make attacks as if you had a gun skill of 5 and as if your weapon had the auto 3 trait.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
So my wits is +2, so it's and my mechanics.
Yep. You have not used an asset this scene. If you want to,
4.
do you have an asset that might apply?
Yeah, the crazy one.
No, I think I'll just try and make the roll.
Okay, go right ahead.
I mean, I have a +6, so.
Yep. Here we go.
Slash roll.
Make it with snake eyes then.
2d6 plus.
You just saw what happened to George, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I got the better of.
I got this.
There you
Nice.
go.
There we go.
Excellent. Okay, so then you get to make 3 attack rolls as if you had a gun of 5. Your agility is 0, so it's 2d6 plus 5 against
3
target number
times.
8.
Okay, so.
Oh, but you also get +1 from your laser sight, so it's +6 to your roll.
So 2d6 plus 6.
Yeah.
So 1.
Holy
2,
shit!
3 of them.
Okay, so that's a 9.
17, a 14, and 11.
Yeah, so it's a 9 effect, a 6 effect, and a 3 effect. So I'll write that down. 9, 6, 3. Each one... Oh, and it does maximum damage, doesn't it? No, that's one of the other abilities.
Yeah, that must be someone else. Mine just says. Whoops.
So use...
This has used up all your ammunition.
Right,
in your
right.
weapon.
It's the Harry and Jenny have a talents that can do that stuff that do maximum damage.
So it uses 3D. It does 3d6 minus 3.
3d6 minus 3. Yep, for each of them. So the first one will be 3d6 flat, then 3d6 plus 3, then 3d6 plus 6.
So 3d6.
Boom. So 1.
6.
Yeah. So you blaze away. The one in front of you is down. The one in front of Harewood is down. Last one, 3d6 plus 6.
Damn.
Nice. I need to be drinking when he's drinking.
Holy shit! So what does it look like, Jeff? As you,
He just. I think he just saw what happened to the director, and and he is just basically panicked, and like it says, he just closes his eyes, prays, and says, I hope this works, and just unloads his gun.
nice. So Harewood next to you, he's just firing blindly. He's got this heavy bag in one hand. He's got his eyes closed, and he's going. And somehow, within the hail of bullets, he manages to take down all 3 ghouls that were charging you guys. Jenny, you're up next.
That was impressive. She is going to, since she aimed last turn, she's going to pop a shot at the one that wounded the director.
Go right ahead. Hold on, I think you actually might be able to aim more than once if you wish to. Because remember, it adds to your... you can use consecutive minor actions to aim, getting a maximum of +6. Because remember, you add your effect to damage as well, too, so there is a damage benefit to actually having a higher result.
Well, I can only get 1 shot off on this thing, and I think my bonus is good enough without it.
Okay.
So I'll not do that.
Okay. So go ahead and make your shot.
+7. So
+7. Okay, and this is, I think it's still short range, too, so it's +1 from that as well.
Okay, so 8 then.
Okay. Here we go. Boom. That is definitely a hit. It did dodge, so it's an effect of 8. 3d6 plus... Oh my god.
She says 3 as she fires, and then uses her other minor action to load her 4th bullet into the gun.
Nice. Love it. Okay. Waff. Boom. Next up is Dr. Harewood. What are you doing? Oh, you're muted, Hobbs.
I got
You
it.
got it. Nice.
So Harewood is seen what Pickens did and just tries to take it in stride and keep moving forward to try and help Alan.
Okay. So you were 32 away. You're now 18 away.
Okay.
Okay. So you keep going in. Then next up will be Harry.
All right. So can I see Director Allen and the two that are on him?
You can. Yeah, he's thrown them off him now too, and he looks pretty bad. He screams something at them, but they seem undeterred.
All right. And then I'm going to guess. So I have this talent. I don't think we need to use it right now, but it seems like it might be good to establish if I can actually use it on ghouls.
Okay.
I've got a thing called Can We Talk About This? Seems like the ghouls aren't smart enough to understand me saying, like, hey, let's have a ceasefire.
No. It still... So what it does is you make your check, and then for a number of rounds equal to... Well, your ability is called what? Your talent is called what?
It's Can We Talk About This?
Right. So you spend a drama point, make a persuade test. If you're successful, all combatants in the present scene will stop fighting for a number of rounds equal to the effect of your roll, or until someone from your side starts fighting again.
Yeah.
You can still, just because...
I can still do that on ghouls. Okay.
Anything, yep.
Okay, that's what I was going to do before Dr. Pickens took down like half of them.
Yeah.
to re-maneuver.
Yeah.
But if we're not doing that, I think I'm just going to take a shot.
Okay.
Cool.
So you're like, you bring your shotgun down for a second, then you hear this crazy spray of, as Pickens is running along through the thing, drops all of them. You take an aim back at the other two that are on Noah. Go ahead.
All right.
That is an 8 effect. That's a big hit.
A 4 effect.
A 4 effect, forgive me. Yeah.
Yep.
8 effect. Kev, you fucking...
Oh, nice.
Oh, man. So what does it look like? They snipe one of those down.
Oh, so it gets... This one, it catches most of like the buckshot or whatever and kind of slams up against the wall from the impact.
Okay. And last but not least here, Director Allen, what are you doing?
Okay, so like I kind of raised my gun and it's like shaking a bit.
What's your agility currently?
Yep. So my agility right now is at a total of 4.
4, so you got -1
Sorry,
to your agility.
no. Sorry, it's at 2. I lost 4.
Oh my god. It's at
Yeah.
-2.
Yeah. So I'm at -2. I've got a laser scope and short range, so that kind of evens them out. So so he's got a shaking hand now, and there's just like blood like covering his hands because as he was like trying to hold his guts in, and he just aims at this thing's face, and just making a straight roll here.
That's a 3-point effect. Nice. Go ahead and roll damage. So it's flat 3d6 damage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Okay. Great.
Here we go.
3d6. 11.
Oh, it's not down.
Okay. Damn it.
Okay, so it blasts back, and you can see like most of its face because you hit it right where you were hoping to get that sweet spot again behind the ear.
Yeah.
You blow most of it away, and it looks up at you.
I would like to invoke a talent.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Withering Glare. I'm going to spend a drama point and make a persuade check of 8.
Yeah.
If successful, target suffers a bane roll on all attacks against you and your allies, and you gain a boon on all rolls against the target.
Nice. That's awesome.
So she notices it survives, and she just gives this snarl, and it's just right through the scope. I can feel the evil eye on it.
Yeah.
Okay, persuade.
She says something in French.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could remember. The sniper, or one of the snipers in Overwatch, is actually a French character who has this great little, like, line. Okay, so big hit.
Nice.
6-point effect. Oh, you should have had a boon on that, too. Give us another d6 roll. See if you can roll a 6.
Oh, it doesn't say that I get a boon on it. Right?
Yeah, it does. When you because I'm assuming you declared that ghoul as your enemy, right?
Yeah, but I don't get the boon until after.
You gain no. So if successful, oh, yeah, this is your persuade test. I'm sorry. I thought it was your shot.
Yeah.
So that is a big success.
I just did it so when it attacks the director, it has to roll low.
Yeah. No, that's great. So then you go ahead and make your attack roll, or make your Oh, sorry, you don't. You're not attacking yet, Kev. Come on, fucking Jesus! The wheels are coming off here.
But I will take this opportunity because it's not on top of me, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna use my minor action to kind of throw myself back. Like,
didn't you say you aimed?
No, I didn't. I didn't take the plus.
Okay, didn't take the plus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just had a laser sight and then my short range.
Okay, so this thing then staggers forward, its face half blown away.
Bang.
Let's see here. Oh, it's a big fucking. Oh, it's got a bane as well
bang,
too.
Yeah.
That's a big miss. So it staggers
Nice.
forward, but it's the like debris and whatnot underneath its feet. It's that kind of like dog trying to take off too quick when its legs are going out from underneath it, coming towards you. Dr. Pickens, you got an empty revolver in your hand, but a bunch of dead ghouls.
So I use one of my actions to load one of my extra magazines.
Yeah, I sound.
And I actually think his hands are shaking at this point, that he has to sort of stop halfway, take a shot of his flask, and then put it away, and then finish loading it, reloading.
Love it. Okay, that's awesome. Jenny, what are you doing?
She is gonna say 4 and then fire her gun again.
Nice. Okay, so now you have a boon on this attack roll.
Oh yeah, so it's +8 with 3d6.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
So
It's
that's
an 18.
18. Holy shit. So that's a 11-point effect.
Sweet. Oh, man.
So what does this shot look like?
So after the withering glare, it's just like the universe like focuses, the camera goes right in their sight, and you see the crosshairs fires a bullet, and it spins and eviscerates the skull, and then it goes click 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 as the 5th round is loaded.
Nice. So we see this thing drop at Director Allen's feet. What does he do?
He sees it land, and then he, with whatever little strength he had left, he kicks it in the head.
You son of a bitch.
He's
All
so
right.
pissed.
Okay. What happens next, guys? We're out of combat.
I think so because this all began just as Allen noticed a conversation that seemed to be like potentially about
Sorry,
him.
I missed part of that, George.
Oh, so it's because this all started when Director Allen turned around to see what these guys were all talking about.
Yeah.
They seemed maybe about him. He knows that something's up. He doesn't know exactly what they were talking about, but he's starting to, realize that they're maybe potentially turning on him to some extent. So he says, listen, I've been fighting monsters since before you were all glint in the eyes of your parents. We have a mission here to Presidio, a duty to our city, our duty to our country, and a duty to the world. If the ghouls attack and they are successful and they have a king, the entire world is in jeopardy. We will do this. We will find the king. We will take him down. I know you have other concerns. We will deal with those later. But right now, we have one mission, and we all need to be of one mind. So he's using a drama point.
Yeah.
And so he, which is called "Do You Know Who I Am?"
Do you know who the fuck I am? I'm Juggernaut, bitch.
And I spend a drama point when interacting with other characters, and either triple the effect of my roll, or target 5 times as many targets as I would have.
Okay.
So I'm using a leadership.
Awesome. Okay.
Roll.
So
So
go ahead and make your roll. We'll set the it as an 8 as well.
okay, cool. Make sure I get the math right. Yep. Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh my god.
So what happens is Jenny comes jogging up with Dr. Harwood next to her and says, he's seriously wounded, he's mumbling, we need to fix him now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't say any of that. I thought I did.
Guys, his knees go out. So what do you got? What happens
Yeah,
next, guys?
literally fall down.
Medic, we need to get medic on him. Can 2 of us work on him because he's so wounded?
No, only one person.
Okay.
Heron
All right.
will do it. You hear a murmur under his breath. If it is given to me to save a life, all thanks. Pulls out his box, pulls out his kit, and starts, let me see that wound. Spends
Nice.
drama points. And he has to make a education test. Science education. Okay, so that's a 4 plus
Now, did you say that you were? It sounded like you may have been triggering your Hippocratic oath.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're rolling this with a boon as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, George, that was epic, but
No, it was. It was so good. I love the fact that it's punctuated by him collapsing at the end. Too.
do you know who I am? No.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So I made 8. So you get
14 in total.
30. It's times 4.
Right. So it's what you do is you take the effect first. Difficulty was an 8.
8.
That's 14. So because 14 would be your total, right? That's an effect of 6. Yeah. So 6 times 4 is 24.
24.
Yeah, you got to drop the lowest.
Yeah,
I got to drop one. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Yep, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, quit cheating, me, Madison.
Yeah, he just hit you with some morphine. You're feeling good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there are some Presidio drugs that are not meant for humans that might have an additional effect.
Right.
Because that literally heals every wound I have. Like you see my suit is still ripped, just shreds on the side there, but you see my skin start to knit back together. Like it actually looks disgusting as it kind of like weaves back together, and it doesn't look pretty, but at least it's sealed.
Oh, does it leave like a hideous, like discolored scar too?
Yeah. Totally. And you happen to notice through the ripped shirt that there's other ones similar to that.
That's so cool. So Pickens, again, this is so far outside of your wheelhouse and your expertise. You're seeing this.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It grosses him out, basically.
Yeah.
He's just hitting the flask again, and he's like, you can tell it's getting empty.
Yeah. Does he just toss it aside when it's empty?
Yeah, I think at this point, actually, maybe he actually just, like, finishes it off and sort of chucks it aside, and you can tell that his stress level has greatly elevated.
Yeah. We're almost at full-on Nicholson right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, so what happens next, guys? Everyone seems like they've collected around Director Allen.
Reloading the shotgun because it's down to 2 shells.
I take it we're going inside of the building now?
Yeah,
Yep.
so and I'm going to have to reload because I was down to 1 shot.
Yeah, Genevieve's going to stow the M40 and get out her 39.
Okay. So you guys are at the base of this derelict building. You can picture, let me move the tokens here.
Remember, we got to get to the basement, is what George said?
Yeah, you got to get down to the basement. These things, does Director Allen want to explain what the strategy here is? I can't remember if I told you, George, or not.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm looking here. I don't think you did.
Okay, so then let's we'll reveal it once you get inside. So you do need to get down to the basement. This device needs to be on the ground.
Yeah, actually, I don't even know what the device is.
Okay.
So, yes.
So
I know what it does. I mean, I know I know we need it for something, but I don't know exactly what it looks like.
Well, here I will tell you now, so you guys can just tell us what you actually do. The device that Dr. Pickens has been pulling along is effectively like imagine. Well, it's kind of like smoking a bear out of a cave. It's a sonic device that affects the ground, and it makes it so that the ghouls that are lodging in there can no longer stay down there. Your intel, Director Allen, is that in the basement of this thing, there's an unfinished floor. Some of these buildings, obviously not as good as others. The unfinished floor here, or the where the concrete is broken through to the surface, you're going to trigger that and then flush them all up to the surface like worms coming up in rain.
So I explain. So I tell Dr. Pickens, okay, Elliot, it's time to bring out the device. So as he's sort of unfolding the bag around it, I explain all of that, how it works, what it does.
This is also why you are bringing your best agents with you, because there's going to be a lot of ghouls.
Yeah, this seems like kind of a tactical misplay.
So another thing you guys notice here too, and this is Dr. Harewood, I think, who notices this. Those 6 ghouls that attacked you, every single one of them is in that same like early transition state that the other bodies were. If you take time to inspect them, Dr. Harewood, you find there is no obvious vector by which these things were infected.
This is worrisome.
And they're dressed, these ones are actually dressed like, even like less tearing and whatnot. These guys look like they were, at home or on the street corner or something like that. Completely intact clothing. Just their faces and their arms are sort of distending. Their faces are malformed. No doubt 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, these things may have been just regular people living in the neighborhood.
Obviously, this is happening fast. We cannot let them organize. We need to take out the king. So he's kind of indicating, like, we need to basically figure out if there's any way we can create any kind of barriers for us to hide behind or get cover behind. So when this thing goes off and they come out.
Well, you're gonna have to get down. This needs to be set off in the basement.
Oh, so it has to actually go down. Got it.
So we will have corridors to funnel them.
Got it. Yeah, so we'll have to see what it's I don't have I wasn't able to get architectural drawings or anything like that.
Probably. Yep. Yeah, it's Presidio. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, you've done a careful, as Harry could tell you, you've done a careful study of all the real estate in Harlem.
Well, this time Harry and I will take point, not you, Mr. Director.
I think that's wise. He pulls out. Actually, he wouldn't have brought plans with him, so he just draws on the ground, finds a stick or something, and starts in some kind of dust or whatever he can find.
If you want plans in it, we already established that Dr. Harewood's got that folder and stuff, so you've got some documentation, right? So
yeah, great. So I'm gonna actually pull it out and unfold it on the ground, and with a stick, I'm gonna point to this is where I think the intel says we'll potentially find the king. Here are the hallways we're gonna have to go down and negotiate. Here are the entry points and exit points that we're gonna have to be careful of.
Okay.
Watch for people coming in behind us. That kind
so
of stuff.
Here's what this next stage is going to be, guys. Is you're going to need to find a way down to this. The blueprints that Director Allen has access to is if this thing was intact, and it's not. Mm-hmm. So what it means is there's going to be a little bit of looking around to try and find your way in here. This is going to be basically an extended test. You guys are going to have to generate enough effect, and then at that point, you guys will have discovered a way to get in. You can choose to all work together, in which case one person will be making the roll, or you can split up, and you can combine the effects that each of the groups, pick one person in a group, effort to make an investigate check. The effect of that will be added to the total. Once you hit the threshold you need, someone will have discovered a way in. However, if you split up, every iterative roll that you make, I'm going to make a random encounter roll for you to see if other ghouls that are lurking around here find you. So, if you split up, and the more of you split up, the faster you're going to find it. But the more random encounter rolls I make for individual people. So what do you think, guys?
Jenny says she's skilled at stealth, so she could possibly get around with somebody else who's equally sneaky to find a way in, or to get in deeper and avoid ghouls. But Pickens is obviously able to defend himself. So
mechanically, what I do for that, John, is I'd actually reduce the chance of a random encounter.
Okay.
If you're successful on your stealth check, I'll reduce the chance of the random encounter.
Okay.
That's cool.
Well, I've got pretty good investigate, but not so good wits.
And I mean, my best skill is threat intel.
Yeah.
So I would be trying to, determine from the intelligence we've gathered and all of the various campaigns I've been involved in for the past, 30 years, where I think ghouls might establish, warrens, or, how they, as a community, do they, are they singular, or do they kind of sleep in packs, or,
okay, so you know how they do? Operate? Why don't we do this? That I am totally on board with that explanation. Why don't you give me a threat intel check against 8, and then I will apply half of the effect to the total. So cool. Director Allen's already giving you some insight as to where to try and find these things.
Big money.
All right, I'll take it. So it's a 6 effect.
6 effect, nice. So it's a total of 3 you've gained so far. So what sort of advice does he have?
So he kind of points out, like, okay, if this is the layout of the, formerly the layout, they're most likely to be in these positions, and they'll be, in this, either in pairs or, like, I don't know if they hunt in pairs or solitarily. It seemed like they kind of are in groups. Yeah. So he points out, like, there's most likely to be ones here, here, and here. So be very careful as you're passing those points. And based on that, my guess would be, even if these walls came down, the king would be in this spot here. They'll be well protected there and from any direction.
Okay. So what I'll let you do, does everyone have at least a 0 in investigate?
I have a 2.
Okay.
4.
Yes. I have a 0.
My total mod's a 3.
So wait a second, Kevin. Before we start rolling these, it seems like I should be able to add some sort of scientific insight from I didn't learn this in med school.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Talent. Well, I mean, I know more about these necrophage ghouls than anyone else, and I also probably know more about regular ghouls, really.
Yeah.
So it seems like even with the information that Director Allen offered, I should be do something else. I guess one thing that I'm a little confused at is why we want to use this reverse thumper to bring because we're basically just trying to bring all the ghouls to where we are, and then that would include the king ghoul. That what's the plan is?
Yep. Because if the king is down there, you've got no way, absent like a bunker buster bomb or something like that. How are you going to get to the thing?
I guess my question is these necrophage ghouls they didn't need a king, but if a king arrives, then they can be controlled by the king, I guess is what the concern is.
So that you're not sure of. This is something you, you've never really seen the necrophage ghouls get to, you've seen them manifest these symptoms before, but usually they're dead. If the necrophage ghouls act in the same way that other ghouls do, then they're animalistic without absent a king. When they have a king, they act in an organized manner.
So I guess I could use this to provide a boon to the allies, to all my allies, right?
What I'll let you do is whatever you can make your roll, whatever the effect is, I'll add it flat to the total.
Okay.
I totally buy that. Yeah.
All right. The other thing I'm thinking about is if there's some way that I can tune up this device to actually make a slightly different sound or draw less ghouls or more like the ghoul we want or something, like, Cisco Ramon it somehow.
Well, that sounds like more of a mechanics thing, but do we have a mechanical genius in the...
We do.
Well, it says I can create a chemical bomb, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
Well, maybe with your help, with your knowledge of the ghouls, I'd be able to do it.
So for right now, do we want to do that now, or do we want to...
What are you guys thinking? Dr. Pickens?
Try it.
Okay, so what are you guys going to do?
Attempt to change the frequency that this thing emits or whatever to match it more to the king and not just to every ghoul.
Okay, that sounds... Yeah.
It seems like as a hive mind, it should be able to have some way that it transmits to the other ghouls, that we should be able to pick up on that frequency that it's using, and then apply that to this thumper.
Okay.
So basically, I'll use my other talent. Shut up and hand me that wrench. Spend a drama point and make an engineer wit test 8+. If you succeed, suggest an improvised application of your engineering expertise, and the director will determine the outcome. Yeah. Based on the effect.
So, if both of you guys work together on this, I'm totally on board with that.
All right, so we'll both have to spend a drama point and use our tests.
And what is yours called again?
I didn't learn this in med school.
No, he didn't.
That's right.
No, I didn't learn this in med school.
So let's hear. Dr. Heron, go ahead and make your check first.
So engineering wit is +6. So
+6 as well.
Let's roll.
And I'm an elder professional, obviously.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you haven't used a. Did you use Hippocratic? You use Hippocratic Oath to heal.
Are we in the same scene?
We're in the same scene. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So.
Okay. Whew. Okay, Dr. Pickens. Yep. And Dr. Harewood. Nice. Holy smokes. Okay, so there's a little... While these guys are fussing away with us, I'm going to make one random encounter roll for you while they're making the device. Jeff, what do you think the device looks like? Remembering it's 70s technology.
Right. I'm actually thinking that it's like, I'm assuming it's auditory or is what? So maybe it's like, it kind of looks like a subwoofer.
Yeah.
But just like with way more dials and the vacuum tubes like right on it. Maybe a couple of capacitors like you would not see on a normal stereo, just huge ones.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. So you get this thing set up. You provide some insight into what maybe it's a sonic way that the ghouls actually communicate too, like bat-ish kind of stuff. So while they're doing this is going to probably take them about 10 minutes to get this thing all set up. What is Director Allen and the Hearst agents doing?
So I think Director Allen, he's kind of, now that he's recovered, I mean, Harewood just saved his life. I mean, he was really on his last legs.
Yep.
And he's been hurt before, obviously, but this was the closest he's gotten in a long time to actually being taken out.
Yeah.
So he's having a little bit of a crisis of conscience. So he says, I need to tell you something. But if you repeat it later, I'll deny everything.
This is to both the...
Everybody. He's going to say it to all of them as they're working and as these guys, and to the hearse.
Yep.
And he's kind of leaning against the wall. I mean, like, he's healed up, but he's still, like, recovering.
Yeah.
So he looks... Up to this point, he's looked like a totally severe, like, in control, like, powerful guy. But now he seems, like, weak and, like, vulnerable for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I know you're suspicious of the events of tonight, and you have reason to be. I did have Dr. Harewood develop that virus, and I did have Dr. Pickens figure out a way to deliver it to every household in Harlem.
Oh, goodness.
And I was the one who arranged for the blackout. It will last 12 hours. The idea was to turn all of the citizens of Harlem into ghouls and then wipe them out. And afterwards, on the ruins of Harlem, rebuild the neighborhood as a Presidio stronghold. And then to eventually repeat this with every neighborhood until this city that was dying, that Siri wanted to get in.
You wanted city that was dying.
Exactly. Would serve an actual purpose. Instead of being a haven for monsters, instead of inviting more of them to our shores, we would turn it into a true fortress from which Presidio could destroy the very thing that threatens all of humanity here in our nation and across the world. I see now that my intentions were true, but my means may have been more over the top.
Extreme?
You might have, yes.
Okay. It's a delicate way to put
yes.
localized genocide.
Right.
Everyone, that does sound like to me that our last dark secret has been revealed. Everybody gets a drama point.
Thought we might need some.
Okay, so what...
It was a good time for it, too.
Yeah, we had to cop to it. Yeah.
So what is everyone's reaction to this?
You're a monster.
Jenny looks at Harry and says in French, low enough that only he can hear it. We kill monsters, right?
Hmm.
And hesitates, she says, we may have one more to deal with before the night's over.
Harry's kind of sits and thinks about that, and he looks at the director and looks at Jenny's wounds.
Search your feelings.
Thinks for a moment, and he says, Director Allen, if we get out of this, you're going to have 2 less agents.
I hate to lose you.
Back.
You have to do what you have to do. But you see what these kinds of creatures can do. Even if I may have made a mistake, there are monsters out in the world that do hunt us, that do eat us. Ghouls are considered, they consider us prey. So just keep that in mind when you make your final decision. You are perhaps our best agent. I would hope that you would take on my leadership role one day, and you can change Presidio in the way you see fit. I have done what I have seen to be the right thing to do based on what my experience has been. But I hope you stay in. If you leave, you have no way of changing the course of the future when it comes to the initiative. But it is your choice, of course.
So Harry lets him finish, and then it's been kind of a rough night and all that. He starts to raise his voice, and he says, from what I've seen, half of the monsters out here were created by you and Presidio. We haven't faced that many real ghouls. We've mostly faced the creatures that Dr. Harewood cooked up in the lab. How much worse have you made this problem by your preventative measures, Director? How much worse has it gotten based on what you released out into the wild for this harebrained scheme to put us all into danger like this? This is not how any organization should operate, certainly, and certainly not one that is supposed to be protecting humanity.
You have not seen what I have seen. You didn't go to the jungles of Cambodia and see what they did to children. You haven't been to the sands of the Sahara and see what they have done to nomads who were doing nothing but finding water out at an oasis. You do not know anything. But it's your choice.
Right there, Director Allen. I have been to Cambodia, and not only have I seen what monsters do to people, I've seen what people do to people.
Awesome!
So he's got the director there. The director was in World War II, and he knows that he's right.
Yep.
He can't deny it, but he's not saying that. This is, you can see, but by his look, that he's conceding the point.
Yeah.
Well, right now, we do need to clean up this mess. So whether you blame me or not, that doesn't matter at the moment.
So if that's the end of the dialogue scene, we see Dr. Harewood and Dr. Pickens now with that back and forth finished. You guys kind of say, we're ready. You're ready to start the device.
Indeed.
All right.
Okay. So, you, what does it look like as you activate this thing? Like, what kind of sound do you think it makes?
Yeah, like just sort of like I'm picturing this extremely low sort of bass sound, or at least that's where it starts. But then we start turning the dials, and it sort of even leaves the frequency of human hearing.
Nice. So it's like
drops down. Right.
Can you feel it? Can you feel the vibrations through your feet?
In the end, all you can do is feel it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's sort of this, pulsing to a bass beat that you can't hear.
Okay. So standing there in the darkness, guys, with that thing going, everyone's thoughts are heavy, obviously, with the conversation between each other. Director Allen and Harry kind of exchange a sharp look with each other. Jenny, that wound of yours, it's really starting to hurt now. And you think you're feeling a little feverish. So you're all kind of waiting. What preparations have you all done? Like, what are you doing while this thing is activating? I'm assuming Dr. Pickens and Dr. Harewood are monitoring this thing while it's going. What about Director Noah and the Hursts?
I think he's sort of like assessing the tactical situation. So, and kind of, organizing a way they can funnel these creatures to go in a certain direction, so they'll be easier targets, and also to provide, some kind of barrier protection. Obviously, they don't have ranged weapons against us, so we don't need cover. But things that we could sort of, force them to have to climb over, or have to deal with, like pushing like an old car in their way, or something that would just be obstacles.
To try and create like a I guess like a stronghold or whatever. You got it. Okay, so in the middle of the open, yard. So what you hear after what is tense and painful moments of silence, again, all of Harlem seems deathly silent. And then you hear a screech that echoes through all the building. And then that is followed by maybe hundreds from all over and everywhere in the neighborhood. It seems like as if every single inhabitant within 10 blocks is now screaming at the top of their lungs. And you see, like, rats piling out of a sinking vessel. Hordes of ghouls pouring out of the area. Now, you did have a chance to set up your defenses. So, Director Allen, would you kindly give us a tactics roll? Let's see what everyone's bonus to initiative is.
Alrighty. 3 plus wits. Nothing. Okay.
It is going to take one full round for these things to reach you guys. So I just... Oh, it's a flat 8. Shit. Okay, so no bonus to it. Everyone go ahead and give us a your initiative roll. I'm going to clear out the ones. And I will roll for the ghouls. The ghouls are acting on a 7. Okay, what do we got here? Harry, let's see here. Jenny's on a 9.
Was it wits? That should be a 9.
Wits or agility, whatever one's better for you.
Sorry. Yeah, mine should be.
Okay, so let's see here. That's Jenny. Harry's got an 11.
So while you're messing with that, I've been thinking Dr. Harewood's thoughts aren't necessarily even with this fight or what's happening. What he's actually considering is that he's never really tried to do the virus on a human that was already infected, because all of his people would have already been. So it's possible that he could change the virus on a person who's already been infected, which might make it mute, because it's supposedly the virus that he was working on wasn't supposed to affect the humans. It was only going to be carried by them, that would then sicken any ghouls that attacked them, right?
Yeah.
So there could be something he could do with the virus to change it that might save Agent Genevieve and make it her a carrier, but not necessarily affected by the actual East Saharan ghoul virus.
Yeah, so perfecting your years of work that you've been doing. That to me,
my heroic sacrifice.
That to me sounds like something that you didn't learn in med school.
For sure, that's what I was thinking. And if not, at least not save her, somehow save the baby or something. I guess we don't even know about that, but so he's trying to save her. If he could do that, then maybe all of this was the whole purpose, that he's not supposed to play God, but if he can save one person, he certainly
love it. So what I'll say is I'm going to set the difficulty a little higher on this then. I think it's going to be a 12. So this is a new scene, so you do have access to your assets again too. Arlen, you're not in roll 20. Did you actually drop out, or?
I reloaded roll 20 because it wasn't refreshing the chat correctly.
Okay.
I'm not in there.
Where are you?
Oh, I'm down at the bottom on your screen.
Oh, right. I forgot. Sorry, that's why I've gotten hidden by the. There we go. Thanks, guys. Thank you. That's some teamwork there. All right. So then, I buy that as a. Didn't learn this in med school. All right. So then, Harry, you're up first. These things are about 20 yards away.
All right, let me blast one of them.
Okay. And let's see how many I'm going to roll. I have 5.
Oh
So-
no!
No.
So here we go, guys. This is also... these ones are not engaged with you yet. Let me see here. They are several. I rolled randomly to see how many minor actions it would be for other parts of the neighborhood to get here. And now, let's see here. I'm going to roll... oh, shit. Okay. I've set a number here. That's how many rounds before the Ghoul King arrives. Dr. Pickens, would you give me a mechanics roll? Your effect, I'll subtract from that number to speed up how fast it gets here. That'll be how effective you're monitoring this thing.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see here. That just to set the stage here for how long it's going to take this thing to get here.
Okay, so what do you want me to roll?
Mechanics. It's an 8+. It'll be mechanics and whatever. Yeah, I think it's wits with mechanics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2. Okay, 6.
All right. 12. So 4. Fantastic. That is fantastic. All right. All right. So, then, sorry, Harry, you were going to attack someone. Did you? Oh, no. What do you think's going on there?
I am literally shaking with rage at the stuff that has happened, and it's, throwing off my aim. And I'm wishing that I had like a machete or something, because I want to get in raw cuffs.
These things too, like of the guys that the ghouls that are charging in, at least 3/4 of them are inhabitants of Harlem. They're not,
Yep.
They're infected, so they're not full-on ghouls. All right, so you fire and it goes wild. Dr. Pickens, what are you doing? Yeah, I would. I think that also sounds like something that Dr. Pickens could try.
Yeah, are you suggesting that
Hobbs?
out loud,
Yeah.
Dr. Harewood?
Oh, he's muting
Yes,
himself.
even while muted, I am suggesting that.
Okay, yeah.
So over the sound of the cries of the ghouls and the shots being fired, we should try to do that, because we're never going to survive for the king unless we do.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so that's great. So I'll spend another one of my drama points again on shut up and hand me that wrench.
Yeah.
And try and make this work.
Okay.
So...
Yeah.
Oh!
Holy shit!
Nice.
Oh, that's incredible. All right, so that is, let's see here. That's an effect of 9. Holy Dinah. All right. Okay, so what do we see that you changed, seeing all these things coming, running in from every direction, what does Dr. Pickens do to alter this thing?
Like, I think he actually, he just takes, like, 3 of the tubes out of it. Like, he just starts, or by, like, ripping it apart. Like, he actually starts dismantling parts of it.
Yeah.
Like, this is wrong, and this is wrong.
Yeah.
So he's actually ripping it apart.
So he hits this
and
thing.
then once he takes the last tube out, he actually is trying to figure something out. You see him grab his flask off the ground that he threw away before, and he just sort of jams it into the hole where the tube was.
Love it. And then, so there's this new pulse, like, is coming out from it, and all the charging ghouls suddenly kind of like are kind of as if they're hitting like an invisible hedge, and it's going to hold them off for a time. Okay, let's see, Jenny, what are you doing?
Give an appreciative look at Pickens, because we have a field agent in the future here. She's going to take time to aim and then let loose with a spray of her auto pistol.
Oh, the auto pistol, nice. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Does it do automatic shots, or is it just one shot?
No, it's automatic pistol means that you don't need to. It's a single action.
Gotcha. Okay. 2d6, and it's +1 for the laser.
What kind of bullshit DM doesn't give you guys submachine guns? It's a 70s thing. Where's my Uzi?
Right.
Okay, guns is 4, agility is 2, so 7.
Okay.
This is
Holy shit.
8.
Go ahead and roll damage. That's what is it? 8 is your, so it's a 9 effect.
So with the -3 on the shot, it's plus
3d6 plus 6. Boom. Okay. Oh, I'm the wrong layer. One of them goes down. Next up is the ghouls. They're forcing themselves against this hedge, and more are starting to pour into the thing. They haven't yet been able to muster up the gumption to get through your wave, Elliot. And you're looking down, and like you can see that there's parts of the thing that are beginning to heat up, as if this might malfunction. Director Allen, what are you doing?
Do any of the ghouls look like they might break through this effect before it gets shut off? Like, are any of them seem to be resisting at all, or are they all being held back?
I don't think you have any training in mechanics, right? Oh, you know what?
No. Well, I'm just wondering if I can see them coming forward.
Spend a minor action on threat assessment.
Great. That's what I want.
To make a threat assessment roll. I'll set the target number at, I think 10.
Okay.
It's a little harder, but not like impossible.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at that. Yeah.
Wow. Holy shit. So an effect of 6. What were you asking?
So I wanted to see if any of the ghouls actually might be able to,
Yeah, they're for sure. With a roll that well, you think maybe like another 10, 20 seconds, and they're going to push their way through.
Okay, so I'm basically what I want to do. That was essentially a minor action.
Yep.
I want to use tactics to tell my companions, like, those 4 are going to be the first ones to come at us. I can tell, like, by the way they're, to kind of point them at the ones I think are going to be in the front line and come at us first, or something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead. Give us a tactics roll. Target number will be 8, and we will. Let's see here. I think that what I'll let you do is the effect will become a pool of points that the players can use as a bonus.
Great. That's awesome. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Here we go. See what happens. 3. Effective 3.
3. Nice. So you guys have 3 points. You put down in chat maybe like 3 tactics points. You guys can use that as a bonus to hit with whenever you choose. Okay, so that is Alan's turn. Dr. Harewood. So you were talking about this. You had this revelation about using the medication, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's going to be it's going to be target number 12. So it'll be this is a really challenging thing. What do you think would be involved in this?
Well, I think maybe some of the blood of one of these fallen dudes that are near us. He's probably going to take some of that and then somehow in the field mix some stuff together like a mad scientist, and then and stuff in his bag, and then maybe like try to centrifuge the blood by hand or something.
You're shaking it as much as you
blood.
can. Yeah,
exactly, and then pop it into some sort of injection and say, Agent Hurst.
Okay, so let's see. This part of the scene is going to be you putting this together. Let's see if it. Okay. So you're holding it up in with a flashlight on, looking at it. Go ahead and give us make your roll for. I didn't learn this in med school.
8. Oh wait, no. What do I got? I got 2d6 plus 6.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So what do we see visually that indicates that it is exactly this?
I don't even know how to do a perfect roll. That is too good,
10.
maybe.
Holy shit!
So it's basically, I mean, normally maybe you'd even have a scene where it actually starts to show the blood, like a look into the blood and then see the blood doing different things, like kind of encapsulates the white blood cells, encapsulate the actual ghoul blood cells and shows how it protects them from not affecting, the human or something like that.
Yeah.
So like a close up, it even goes farther inside and shows what he's doing or what his thoughts are on the process.
So you get it back, and then that the disgusting like blackish, almost like scab filled ichor that came out of the ghoul, cherry
Dissolved.
red. Yeah, it's all red blood now.
Right.
Okay, so that was you've got it. Agent Harry, what are you doing?
All right, I'm gonna blast one of the ones that the director pointed out. It's gonna be the first through.
So how many of the tactic points do you want to use?
I'm gonna just use one right now. Leave
Okay.
the pool fresh.
Oh, thank God! Wait, is that including your one?
That's including my one.
Oh God! So you fire away. All the buckshot goes into one of the other destroyed things as the destroyed cars, as these things are still writhing in pain and throwing themselves against the invisible barrier.
I'm thinking at that point, Jenny might have coughed a little bit. Wet sound.
Yeah, blood comes out. If she puts her because again she's incredibly stylishly dressed. You came straight from Vondu. She coughs onto this beautiful floral print silk blouse. There's blood all over it, and it's blackish. Okay, Dr. Pickens, what are you doing?
Well, I think is the machine stable? Is there anything else he needs to do, or is he?
Right now, you've done as much as you can for.
Okay, then he'll turn his attention. He'll pull his gun out and scan and see where we're at. Basically,
you have a swarm of like 20 infected and ghouls.
He looks at his bullet count. Are they still coming closer?
Oh yeah, they're all throwing themselves up against. Imagine like a circle of them throwing themselves against an invisible barrier and coming like recoiling back and then coming up and then throwing themselves against it again. Yeah, and that
I think he checks his ammo situation and he thinks I better save these for when the king shows up.
Okay, nice.
And so he's just kind of moving his gun around and scanning, watching for the king.
Okay. Oh, interesting. This is gonna be a really hard number. I think it's like a DC 16. Give me an investigate check, please.
Okay.
Or wits and threat intel.
Okay. Well, his investigate is his better one, so that's +3.
Go ahead. So it is pretty, like I said, pretty high, but.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you used a asset this scene?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I think he'll actually just use his manic determination again, like he is.
Yeah. So his wild eyes.
We have to
looking
find
around.
that king. Yeah.
And he's probably talking to himself too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means, well, hold on. You actually would have rolled that with a boon. So you should be rolling one more and taking the two highest.
Oh.
So hope you get a 5.
Yeah, Manic Determination allows you to roll with a boon.
Oh!
10, 13. So close. Okay, so you're looking around and you can't make out. It's tough because you're not even really trained to look for the specific thing that Dr. Harewood is.
Right.
All right, Jenny, what are you doing?
She's gonna shoot another one.
Okay.
She's not gonna borrow any of the points, so she's gonna aim and take a shot.
Go right ahead. Boom. Effect 6.
Okay, so that means you +3 on my roll.
Nice. 14. Eesh. That's a low roll. Oh, you're using your handgun, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hold on. Your effect was...
-3 +3. Yeah,
Right. Okay, yeah. All right, so boom, another one is down. Their turn, once again, throwing themselves up. And like some of them are fully throwing themselves as if like there was a fence there. They're falling through it and then scrambling back as if they were burning. And then turning around again and trying to throw themselves in. They are now joined by that second wave. So you currently have this whole batch of things coming and you can hear more screaming coming along. Director Allen, now the thing you realize as well is you're not sure how to tell the king from the others at this point. So
yeah.
You know, it's a bit of a crapshoot for which one is the one that you're going to drop.
Right. So, yeah. I think Herwood is probably the person who has the most chance of IDing him at some point when he spots him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just first of all I'm gonna say to Herwood, when you see the king, let us know.
He's just madly shaking his thing. What happened?
Yeah. I think in the meantime, it doesn't make sense to me that I could be aiming when I can't see the target yet. So, like in preparation for the thing to come. So I think I'm just gonna might as well take out one of these ghouls because I don't know when the barrier is gonna come.
If what you're
wait, you could
go ahead,
move
Hans.
down he could move down the initiative order until I do spot it. If I do, right?
I can do that. I would love to do that.
I mean, also you could still make the same. It's a difficulty 16 threat intel check, right?
You know what? I will do that because I'm not too bad at that.
Now, couldn't you use your signature skill right now if that's one of those to get an automatic success?
You could. You could. Yeah, totally.
Actually, yeah. So
yeah,
because you don't need a fact, you just need success.
Yeah. Exactly. Look at somebody paying attention to the game.
Yeah.
And how it works. Okay, awesome. That is a great idea. This is a perfect.
So, and you have. And that is threat intel is an education, and you've got one you can use this session.
Yes, and I'm gonna use it. So
nice.
I'm going to figure out who's moving differently than the others, who's acting in a way different from everybody else as I scan.
Think what you see is there's one in the roiling mass of all these things hidden in the darkness, one that is clearly a ghoul that is sitting there going like a caged animal, like a caged tiger or something, waiting for the fence to come down.
Okay, so I point him out.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
Dr. Herwood. What do you do?
When that laser, I'm assuming I'm going to put my laser sight on it. I'm assuming that maybe Alan doesn't, and try and make sure everyone else can see that that's where he is.
Cool. So here's what I'll do. Give us a guns check. Don't take a boon. You, just because all you're doing is training the you're not trying to hit it. You're just trying to light it up effectively. Give us a guns check.
I don't have guns.
And you've got no mod. So give us 2d6. If you beat 8, then everyone will get a chance to add that to their attack rolls. Cool.
Oh my!
Fucking hell! So everyone gets +4. Harry, you can see the king's been illuminated. What are you doing?
So 5 6s in a row.
Exactly.
Which is, it seems like it would be a waste for me to not use any of my talents at all, and that I could do the talent. Can we talk about this to cause everything to pause for a second? So that all of our buddies could take aim at the Ghoul King and shoot it all at once, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
All right, so I'm spending a drama point.
Okay.
And then I make a presence test. And it seems like this is the time that the winning smile would have to come out as he looks at the crew and says, "We got this."
Yeah.
And somehow his just force of will. Well, let's see if his force of will.
Yeah, let's see what happens, and then you can.
3d6 plus 1 for presence.
And then the smile fades as he rolls.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! It didn't work.
So what happens?
It was such a great plan. Well,
it was.
These are ghouls. They don't give a shit about my winning smile or my special ability.
No. You know what happens? Is you start walking out there, and what is it that you say?
To the ghouls or to the crew?
What did you say to try to calm them down or whatever?
I think I just try to not even say something, but try to make like a
You could be like this. Would
like
be
what I think their alpha, the pack leader roars like. I just kind of make a sort of rah.
Okay, and what you hear in response, the king kind of and all the ghouls, and you hear your wife. And you spare a look back, and your heart fucking sinks. And that's why it did not have the effect that it should have had. Dr. Pickens, what are you doing? You can see where the king has been pointed out.
Okay, well, as far as the session goes, I think I will use my final drama point.
Yeah.
To once again use his pray and spray and unload his gun.
Go right ahead.
In sort of panic.
Okay. So I mean, you can that means you can make 3 attacks against the Ghoul King.
Okay, you don't. Yeah, if I succeed.
If you succeed, yeah, that's right, yeah. So like your
roll 2d6. This is +6.
Here we go.
Oh
yes, nice. Okay, so go ahead and make your 3 attacks. It's with your firearm. I think it's a -2 because of the range. Yeah. So then it's just, but then +1 because of the attack or +1 because of your laser sight.
It's a total of +4 because it's as if I had guns 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So +4.
Okay, go right ahead. Make 3 attacks here. That's a hit with effect 1.
2.
Effect
3.
2.
Whoa.
And effect. Oh, effect 1, effect 1, and effect 2.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so it's 3d6 -2, 3d6 -2, and then 3d6 -1.
3d. Sorry, what did you say? -2 twice and -1 once. Right?
That's right. Yeah. So that's 6, 15,
and then.
And come on.
Oops. 9.
15, 24. What does it look like as the Ghoul King dies?
Oh my.
Nice.
I think last time he sort of actually like closed his eyes, and this time he's like he's got like one eye squinting open, and he does the same thing as he did before, and he just sort of hammers on the trigger.
Nice.
In a very panicked way, and basically unloads his entire clip very quickly at this thing.
So the Ghoul King falls, and as soon as he does, every one of the ghouls begins kind of writhing and screeching in a very different way than it was with the fence. And then one by one, they begin to kind of turn and begin scampering off into the darkness until it is just the 5 of you left behind. And then finally, sparks fly out of the sonic machine, and it falls silent as well. Everyone stands around for a second, and then Jenny.
Do I have an action, or am I turning?
I think
one thing I want to do before she goes.
What's that?
That hacking sound she was going to make, she spits up a chunk of flesh from her throat that's obviously decaying. Then she turns to face Noah, and she mouths the word 5 and goes for her gun and gives him a withering glare and pulls the trigger.
Nice.
I'm not sure if it'll hit or not, but that's
okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Dr. Harewood's holding up the cures like no! Go ahead.
Okay, so she'll get a boon against him.
Director Allen, are you defending?
Yeah. I mean, I think he.
Yeah.
I gotta make my withering glare roll first, though.
Oh, love it. Okay.
What is it? +4.
Yeah.
Okay, 2d6 +4.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
made that.
Nice. Yep.
And then so it's 3d6 plus guns is
And
-4.
-1 for so +1 because of short range, -1 because he's dodging.
So +6.
Yeah.
Then.
It's an effect 9.
Yeah, then it's
Go ahead and roll
5.
damage, and then we'll leave it to George to narrate what happens here.
I told people that 5 was special.
Okay.
So so once he sees the Ghoul King go down and the other ghouls go screeching off into the night, he turns around to his companions and says, "See, I told you we could."
Nice.
He
So he
goes
drops down dead. How does Harry react to this?
She's obviously like on her knees now and hacking blood up.
Yeah.
That's all she's got.
Yeah. The fever is overwhelming, sweating. Harry and Harry or Dr. Pickens or Harewood. Dr. Harewood, what are you guys doing?
Hold her down. I have the cure.
All right, I'm gonna try to tackle Jenny, and
She's starting to go into convulsions.
Nice.
So why don't we do this? Let's do a contested melee. Each of you guys go ahead and make a roll against each other.
Okay. 2d6 and it's agility because she's going to try not to get caught.
Ooh, and I can see... Unless... Arlen, do you have any drama points left?
I have a couple of drama points left.
Yeah, I spent my last one. It's gone.
Is she not being her own worst enemy right now?
That's a good point.
Okay.
But I think it only works with guns, unfortunately.
No, I'd let you use it. Spend a drama
You
point.
let me use it? Okay.
Totally. Okay, give us a cool narration of how you hold her down then.
So
That sounds really kink
I roll.
positive, but this session took a weird twist there, Kev. What the fuck?
Until you said that, it didn't. But
She, so
See
I
me
think
by 2.
sprint over and just kind of like leap forward and grab kind of hands and holding her, and then sort of twist around so that I'm almost like behind her where she can't get me with my hands behind her head, and I'm like, Dr. Harewood, now.
So, and Jenny, you and Harry have had the conversation of like what happens if one of you turns, not to a ghoul necessarily, but some other thing, come under a warlock spell or whatever else. What are you screaming at him?
Just do it now. Kill me.
Okay. Tears of blood are beginning to fall down her face as well too. Dr. Harewood, what do you do?
well, in the 70s, they always had to do something and flick the the air out of the needle.
I'll tell you, you have to do that now to avoid having an air bubble in your bloodstream. But
I know that, but it's always like in every show from the 70s. I mean, like every episode of MacLeod, or I mean, all of them, every single time. So he's like, quickly, gets it out and stabs it into her neck and pushes down the plunger.
Okay. So she kind of screams in pain. She writhes. Harry, now tears are going down your face because she's just fighting with all her strength to try and keep her, get herself out. Dr. Pickens, what are you? You're kind of maybe standing over Director Allen's body?
Yeah, I think so. He's in shock. Like, he would probably be by far the most connected to the director. He may not have agreed with his methods here, but he definitely was someone that he respected in the end, and so I think he's just in shock.
Yeah. So he's standing over her, his eyes wide, his hands finally actually still, not trembling. Harry, Jenny finally falls into unconsciousness. What do you do? She's about to drop to the ground.
I'm gonna do my best to kind of get under her, support her, carry her.
So you sort of fall to your knees and you're cradling her. Dr. Harewood, what are you doing?
So now, tears are going down his face as he hopes, it's done, pulls it out, dabs some alcohol swab on there to clean it, and then moves over to see how bad Director Allen's wound was. It shouldn't end like this.
George, what's the wound look like?
So, I mean, there's like a giant hole blown in his stomach. I mean, there's organs missing.
Let me look at this wound.
So you're sort of
closer look at that.
I think what we do is the camera pans way back and we see, near that burning oil drum on the edge of the thing there. The neighborhood's still totally empty. Harewood trying to talk, like don't go, to stay with us, Noah. And Pickens just stands there, looking down. Harry is just whispering things into Jenny's ear, but she's unconscious. It pans back. We fade out, and we fade back in. Morning. Guys, what are we finding? You can feel free to narrate out what happened the night before. Remember that Presidio, part of their job is covering up stuff. They hide the existence of supernatural from mankind. And I think the first person we see is Harry. So Harry, you're walking through the hallway of what is no doubt some very, rich, what is it, like Upper East Side? Is that the rich part of Manhattan? I don't know.
At that time, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So you're making your way down this sumptuous hallway with a look of concern on your face. Take it from there, Arlen.
Whose hallway is this?
This is one of the Presidio headquarters. With Alan dead, what do you think Harry has done?
Well, I don't know, because Harry was originally going to resign, and now Alan's dead, and he might be, if not next in line, at least pretty close to it.
He would be. He would absolutely be. You were in line to take a place on the Presidio board.
I have a question. Has Jenny recovered consciousness at all?
No, you'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Harry kind of walks in, and he goes in, and he opens up the door, big double doors, and we see that it's Director Allen's office, right? Yeah. He comes up, and he looks down, and there's maybe papers on the desk and stuff, and he kind of flips through them idly and stuff, and then he turns, and he kind of looks out the window, and we can see a great big shot of New York City and all that sort of stuff, and then he turns around, and he kind of settles himself and sits down in the chair, and it's this absolute position of command.
So you can see to your left as well on the desk, there's a picture of Director Allen and your father as young men.
Yep.
We cut
picture.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Put it down. We cut to a scene of someone coming up from darkness, and there's a sound of medical equipment, and this is again like 70s TV medical equipment. Beep, beep, beep.
KG.
Yeah. You wake up, and Jenny, you are awake, and Dr. Harewood is standing over you. Dr. Harewood, what you can tell her is that the cure worked perfectly.
So he's there, shines the light in her eyes. Shines light in her eyes. As she's waking.
Yeah.
Agent Genevieve, I think it appears that everything is great. All of your tests came back negative from the ghoul infection. You are going to be okay.
So,
unfortunately,
we don't know about the fetus.
We don't know about the fetus.
So she wakes up blurry-eyed and focuses on his face as he speaks to her. Are her hands free or tied down or anything?
Yeah, no, completely free.
When she mentions anything about the fetus, her arm snaps up and grabs the cuff of his collar and says, "Find out." And then she passes out again.
Okay, nice. And then beep, 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 beep. And then she passes out and beep, beep, beep. So now let's cut back to the scene where we see Dr. Pickens sitting in a bar. Same clothes.
I was going to say bar, exactly.
Yeah. And he's sitting there, and he's, looking at this drink. And we have a flashback to the night before, or the night of the blackout. Let's end with the scene where Director Allen provides the instructions to Dr. Pickens for what he's doing. This is probably at some garage, on the north side or northeast side of the Harlem River.
Okay. You've done excellent work, Elliot. This is going to be a new day for Presidio. and it is because of you. We will change things for good this time. And your work is part and parcel of the new era of Presidio. Is the machine ready?
It's ready, sir.
Then tonight is the night.
So we cut back to the bar. Jeff, what do we close on with Elliot?
I think that we close on he's got a new flask, and he's got some kind of a message carved on there that was from the director. You know, some
is it the Presidio? If you turn it over, is the Presidio logo on it?
Yeah,
too?
the Presidio logo, and
Love it.
we are gonna fix the world or something. It says, Director Al, or some quote that he's got carved on there.
Yeah. And is it just that's how we end as we see him looking at that and considering the mission?
Yeah.
Okay.
Considering if they, what went down.
Okay.
He was.
So then, I think we end with this guy walking into a bar. He walks up to where you're sitting, Dr. Pickens, and he kind of just says, "That's a nice flask." And he clunk. You hear something clinks on the bar, and it's a flask identical to what yours is. And he turns it over, and it's got the same logo. You turn and look up at him, and he says, "I hear you knew my uncle." And that's where we will end things.
Perfect.
So, for those listening at home,
well, I just want to say that was an excellent read-through. Let's just go shoot it now.
So, for those listening, what do you call it? Sorry, we missed a bunch of people in chat. No, obviously we were not. We weren't playing AD&D tonight. We were playing a very special episode, one shot for October Faction. This was a game that I put together very specially to celebrate. George is the co-EP, the executive producer, and one of the writers on the October Faction TV show. So to celebrate the release of that very, very cool show, I put together this episode as a very special congrats to George for that. So
I appreciate it. That was great.
You're very welcome. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this very special episode of the Dungeon Musings podcast, I guess. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can reach me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is dungeonmusings at gmail. No, it's Dungeon Musings. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. In addition, you may find it in the link of the description of this video. There is two different links. One of them is a link to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where you can find all of us active on there. We have channels dedicated to all the games that we run on the channel. I'll also share all the documents that I prepared for this session on there as well. So if all the character sheets, all the things, and I'll put together the cheat sheet that I was supposed to put together beforehand that had all the rules that we used tonight in it. In addition, there's a link to something called Heroes Save Villages. That's the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. If you enjoyed this one-shot, this is the type of one-shot that your donation can get. You can find on there's a bunch of rewards, but the big one is a charity session that I will run for you and your friends. And the, what do you call it? There's a limited number of them for 2020. So if you enjoyed this session and you'd like to have something similar for yourself and your friends, you can get that on there. And all donations go directly to help the SOS Children's Villages International Charity. It's a really terrific organization that's active in over 130 countries, providing advocacy and, more importantly, direct benefits and a supportive and nurturing environment for over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children from around the world. It's a really terrific organization. And you can learn all about it by following that link. Last but not least, I want to thank my outstanding players. who learned this game this morning and ran it better than I could have thought. So, Hobbs, Jeff, Arlen, John, and especially George for letting me play in your backyard. Thank you, all of you guys. This was such a fun thing to prep and to run.
Thanks for running it.
Oh, yeah.
I would cast all of you.
Excellent.
I'd be better in the writing room, I think.
You're a hyphenate.
For those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us. I'll go through the what do you call it? I'll go through my the chat afterwards too, and if there are any questions that I didn't address now, I'll get to them then. But I am frankly exhausted right now, so
And you
thank you, everybody.
Another game in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Then, for those listening at home, once again, thank you so much for joining us live or otherwise. And until we see you again, happy gaming.